Yeah, we are going to be launching right into game number 1 here in our first quarterfinal with a pause right away. But that
Tactical pause.
Tactical pause. Very tactical. Very pause. But that just gives us a second here to introduce the players. Mr. Yo will be our higher seed in the blue to the west of the map as the Mayans, and to the north of the map in the red as the Malians.
I love this matchup. This matchup is so good. I feel like each civ has options throughout the game, and I feel like Malians with their infantry option that has a lot of Pure Summer pretty much counters Eagles and Plumes in just one unit. It's going to be very interesting how that plays out with Malians.
Yeah, it's kind of like a budget Huskarl in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not as good as a Huskarl, but Malians obviously have more options and a better eco bonus than Goths do. But looks like we will be getting into the game here. Notably, this is Arabia, but it does have these acacia trees that everyone loves so much, and I think that should be lending itself to a more aggressive game.
I think before we take a look at the map stuff, we should talk a little bit more about the civs for those who don't really are not familiar with them. Putting up the civ bonuses there. So obviously we see Mayans with the extra villagers to start -50 food. Great economy bonuses as well with cheaper archers, and then Malians having that wood discount as well as the Pure Summer, stacking on their infantry, which is what we talked about earlier.
Yep, and I think it's kind of, if you're trying to differentiate these two civs, it's Malians who have more options, but they're like the jack-of-all-trades civ, right?
Yeah.
They kind of do everything well, but nothing exceptionally well, whereas Mayans are much more streamlined. They do archers and they do eagle warriors,
yeah,
and they do those very well. So like Hera was saying, this should be, I think, a pretty interesting one, but taking a look at the maps right away, this seems pretty darn open for Yo.
Yeah, I mean, Mayans, one of their best strategies is to rush FC. You want a closed map, go with a few militia to harass your opponent, and then go straight to the castle age where you get those cheaper archers, and we're able to really take advantage of the main economy and the main power unit, which is the archer line. Could even go for some plumed archers as well. In this case, I feel like he might have to stay a little longer in feudal age than he might have wanted to.
Yeah, and it's not like Mayans can't go for a ton of feudal age play. Like, they're fine at doing that. Although if you stay in feudal age too long versus a civ that can make scout cavalry, then things can get a little bit tricky. Just because eagle warriors train so slowly, and that's really your only other super strong option as a meso civ. But meanwhile, taking a look at the map here for Liereyy, I mean, it's still not that great, but I do feel like it's a bit more closed than is Yo's.
Yeah, one thing we missed as well, Yo actually killed one sheep from Liereyy. Not too significant, but he did snag it on the way over to his base. I think Lierey's map is a lot better, except for his gold positions. Like, his main gold is behind the wood line there. That's really nasty. If he doesn't protect that one well, it could run into some problems later on.
Yeah, I mean, you can wall around it. There is this wood line with the palm trees that's to the right of it, so it's a little bit more manageable, but you never want to see any of your resources behind a wood line completely, and looks like they're just going to be luring in that rhino.
Oh, he lost the villager! No!
No restarts, everybody.
Oh, these things happen. It's happened a couple times to me. I'm not sure if anyone else in the tourney lost a vill, but it shouldn't really happen too often in pro play, and that's definitely a huge mistake in the Dark Age. Gonna set him back a lot here.
Yeah, I think part of that has to do with the fact that rhinos and elephants, for whatever reason, I think like attack faster, have less frame delay or something.
Yeah.
So they're pretty tricky to lure in, but of course the upside to that is you have more food in total. You have 400 wood on these guys as opposed to the 340 of boars. So if your villager doesn't die, then you'll be having more food to get to a stronger early game. And I think that both of these civs are likely to open up with men-at-arm play.
And to be honest, losing one vill, yes, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world. It's only game 1. I just hope that this doesn't tilt Liereyy, because I feel like if he just keeps a cool head, he'll be able to recover from this mistake. But the more he lets it get to him, I think the more he'll have trouble as the game goes on. So hopefully he recovers from that mentally. Is luring that second boar. I'm seeing a farm being dropped from him as well. Maybe not. Maybe that's indicating a scout's opening over like a men-at-arm opening.
Possibly. I think, Malians, they do have the wood discount, so you can kind of squeeze in that farm a bit more often, especially if you do go with the 4 on wood, which is indeed what we're seeing Liereyy do. So I still think we're more likely to be seeing that men-at-arm opening, almost losing another villager right there.
I was gonna say
that would be tilting.
I was gonna say in before he loses the second villager, and then the whole thing just crumbles down on him. But just the one villager, that's not the end of the world. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Not going to be too big of a deal, and like we were saying, we do favor Lierey's map over Yo's. Mayans, hopefully not going to be losing a villager, because you do have to get loom right away because you start housed, and yeah, Yo just taking his second elephant with no problems whatsoever. If both of these players open up with men-at-arms, which it does seem to be the case, what do you think is going to be the better transition?
Ooh, interesting. So Liereyy is dropping down the barracks, and he probably does want to go for men-at-arms despite... Ooh, nice little wall there. It doesn't get anything for it, but it was kind of cute. I think the best thing for Malians to do is probably just open men-at-arms into ranges. You can open men-at-arms to scouts in some obscure situations, but probably not against Mayans, because obviously they do get the archer bonus, and that's obviously really strong. So I think actually men-at-arms into skirm is what I would guess for Liereyy.
And then mid-game transitioning into something like Knight Skirm.
Yeah, Knight Skirm comes to mind. Maybe even just pure Skirm if Mayans is going straight archers. I don't even think you need the Knights. Depends how open the game is, but definitely men-at-arms to skirmisher would be my strategy of choice here, and what I expect from Liereyy.
Yeah, we do have 2 villagers going over to the gold for Yo. Yeah, Liereyy already has the 2 villagers on gold himself, so everything seems pretty normal as far as that goes, but Yo just going to be clicking up a little bit faster, and of course having that extra villager, 1 as Mayans, and 2 he didn't lose 1.
Yeah, so Yo's in a great position, like, over Liereyy. Economically here, like I said, it shouldn't matter that much, especially as the game goes on. But in the early game, I feel like that 1 villager, an extended feudal age could actually make the difference here. Hopefully, Liereyy plays it safe and doesn't take any more damage to, kind of snowball him out of the game. But if it's just that 1 villager, he'll be able to recover no problem. Nice walls as well from Liereyy. He's really trying to set up his map. Obviously, we said he did have that nice map with the wood lines. The only issue right now for me is the main gold. Hopefully, protects that nicely as well.
Yeah, it looks like a villager's coming forward to do just that.
Yeah.
Going to wall this main gold. Hopefully there aren't any holes. Actually, it kind of looks like there is a hole right through here.
Oh, yeah, he's scouting it, though.
Okay,
yeah, nice.
Perfect.
Good stuff,
I think that should be totally walled then.
Speaking of walls, though, go over to Mr. Yo's base and take a look at what's happening there. Yeah, a lot of walls there as well.
I approve. Lots of walls.
It makes sense, though. You obviously want to take as little risk. It is a quarterfinal. It's obviously a big tournament. Losing because you didn't wall up is probably not the best way to go out.
Yeah, look how defensively Yo's playing as well. In addition to all the walls, looks like going to get a nice few hits on these scouts. Not going to snag it.
That's crazy. That's a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, that is indeed a ton of damage. And Men-at-Arm upgrade will actually be coming in a little bit faster here for Liereyy, but if the fight comes in right now, Yo will have the advantage, but no. Immediately disengaging, but yeah, Yo keeping the militia at home and the instant archery range upon hitting Feudal Age.
Something interesting is happening with Yo, though. He's not getting the Men-at-Arm upgrade. This is very weird. Normally, it's a must to get the Men-at-Arm upgrade at the start of Feudal Age. He's deciding to skip it, trying to force the fight with the militia. Might actually pay off here as he's taking a few hits, but Men-at-Arm kicks in for Liereyy, and map control is pretty much lost for Yo at the moment.
Yes, but he does have the better economy, and he was able to get that double bid axe upgrade right away.
Yeah.
So his economy will be even better compared to that of his opponents. Is around a 2 villager lead right now. Fight going to be happening right here. But the Men-at-Arms should be able to clobber the militia, especially if the scout takes some good micro hits right there.
Nice, so very nicely played from Liereyy. It's not a huge deal though after all. Like there's just going to be maybe 1 or 2 Men-at-Arms left. Looks like just 1 and a very low HP scout. I like the move from Yo to save his scout there. That's going to be very important for him because now he has the scouting information left as well.
Yeah, and I think it was also smart in this situation for Yo not to get the Men-at-Arm upgrade, because even if he had won the fight with like 1 Men-at-Arm left over, realistically, this isn't going to accomplish a whole lot here for Liereyy.
Very true.
I mean, the Men-at-Arm is at full HP, but the scout's going to die in 1 arrow. Actually, it's going to die in 2 arrows. But with Fletching coming in, then it will die in 1 arrow. Ha!
There you go.
But yeah, I don't think this is going to accomplish a whole lot. And let's see actually what Lierey's transition is going to be. He does have the archery range, and it will be with skirmishers.
Bam, I play this game. I know what's happening. So yeah, Men-at-Arm to skirm, very nice transition from Liereyy. I mean, it makes sense based on the matchup, of course. It's not that that different from the standard play. And of course, we're seeing archers from Yo playing as the mains. That scout did go down as well.
Yes, it did. Scout for Liereyy went down. Yo scout is still alive.
Of course.
It is only 1 range skirmisher production for now. No blacksmith as of yet for fletching, so Lierey's still going to have to be a little bit on the defensive side. And I just feel like if you're letting the Mayans player just completely execute their game plan and do what they want, that's going to be something of a disaster. And I don't see Liereyy able to do a ton in the near future, at least not... Okay, now the blacksmith's coming down.
Yeah, the problem is Yo is going for the 1 range build. The benefit of this is that you get more farms out early because you're not making archers from 2 ranges, and you're also saving the wood on the first range, or on the second range rather. And also you get the blacksmith early to get early fletching. The issue now is that he doesn't have that many archers, so if the skirmishers do move out And if Liereyy has fletching, he can take some really favorable engagements at the moment.
Yeah, fletching on the way for Liereyy. Interestingly, he also added an additional men-at-arm. Remember, Malians do have that extra pierce armor on their swordsman line. And Yo's coming forward with only the 4 archers. I would think if you're going for the 1 range, you'd want to play a bit more passively. But Yo is trying to get out and about with these archers. Liereyy does have a pretty nice wall, walling ahead of his own
That
wood
was
line.
really nice. That was a very smart play.
Yeah, just to be extra safe, you don't want to lose a bunch of villagers here just in game number 1 in this best of 7. Yo's going to come in. I don't really see him doing a ton of damage, and Liereyy should be able to respond.
To be honest, I like how both of these players are playing. Like Liereyy, defensive options with the walls, staying at home with the scrims, and I like the fact that Yo's moving out as well. He obviously scouted the scrims, so he's going to go back now. But just the fact that he was trying to be active on the map, it makes you think that he's at least trying to find any sort of way he can get damage, because you never know when your opponent slips up. In this case, though, Liereyy was very sharp with his defensive play.
Yeah, and once Yo scouted that his opponent was so heavily walled, he just noped right out of there, and his archers are indeed going on home. I like this. You can figure that your opponent's going for skirmishers. I mean, you saw that your opponent did not go for men-at-arms. You saw the quick archery range. Okay, he's almost certainly going for lots of archers. So, yeah, the skirmisher play is the logical follow-up. Lots and farms for both players. Yo's at 17. Liereyy is only at 14, but that is going to be quick. Almost 16, so castle age time's not going to be in the too distant future.
Yeah, it looks like Yo going for a market and just full walling. At this point, we're engaging more into a macro game rather than a micro game. Oh, speaking of micro though, Liereyy did pick off a quick archer there. He does have a nice position on that hill. What Yo should do is just retreat behind his walls, which indeed he is doing that. And like I said, we're gonna head into a macro game where it's gonna come down to decision making and more of like an economy game in the castle age rather than an all-out military war.
Yeah, kind of wasteful from Yo, to be honest, just kind of throwing away an eagle for little to no benefit. The 1 extra men-at-arm does help a fair bit against those eagle warriors, but with this huge wall that Yo did at the north of his base, he is eventually getting everything, nice and safe, and the skirmishers are going to take a very long time to punch that. And we see Yo going over to the stone.
Interesting.
And I must say that Yo has been one of the more successful players with Mayans in this tournament so far, who have overall had a pretty poor win rate. But I feel like Yo has been able to make them work, make the plumed archers work more than most players.
I feel like mains were only like lackluster in Red Asset Fortress. I feel like they performed overall decently on Arabian maps. I mean, I don't know the statistics or anything, but yeah, especially Yo has made them work. Great micro as well behind these walls just to keep the skirmishers at bay. Awesome stuff. And he's just going to be up to castle age nice and early. What is that timing actually? That's really fast. That is going to be like a 21-minute timing, maybe 21:30. Very fast for a fast castle.
Yep. Lierey's not going to be too far behind. He can actually click up right now, and is indeed doing so. Yo also grabbing the stone mining upgrade, making no secret of his desires for a castle and plumed archers. What do you think of Malians in the mid-game for plumed archer answers? Do you want to go mostly just the skirmisher route, or do you want to go more knights?
Okay, you want to go skirmish, fast ballistics. I feel like knights would be an absolute waste now, and I think Liereyy probably is aware of that as well. We're not seeing him add a stable or anything like that. I think skirmishers and maybe even add a forward siege if you want to push. Maybe one stable to add a couple knights for eagles, but I don't even think that's necessary if you have the mangonels out to attack around the eagles, for example.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you're already making the counter unit. You're already putting a fair amount of investment into them. Getting the +1 defense. Glad to see Liereyy do that once in a while, especially against a bunch of archers. And should be transitioning into something of a standard mid-game for these civs. Who do you think is going to want to add the extra TCs first?
I mean, it's tricky, right? I feel like Yo might want to get the castle up first, because remember, TCs do cost 100 stone, castle 650. So we'll see what he decides to go for. He has the option. He's floating a lot of wood and stone. I think he might try and add the TCs first. And over on Lierey's side, he has nothing to spend the stone on. He definitely wants to get the TCs down as quickly as possible. Yeah.
So something really interesting. We're talking about knights, skirmishers, and mangonels, but there is another answer to the plumed archers for Malians potentially, and that's the swordsman line. Liereyy did go ahead and grab the +1 defense. And in Castle Age, I believe it is 5 pierce armor fully upgraded for their long swordsman. That's not bad, but I feel like the plumes will still be able to dance around them.
Yeah, the big issue with the swordsmen has always been not their pierce armor. I mean, obviously that helps, but it's just their mobility. They're too slow. They're only really good if you're going to do like an all-in push, or if you're doing from forward production, so you're able to close the gap and get in there. But if you're going to have to make them from home and just send them forward, it takes too long, and usually your opponent is able to micro against them, especially with a fast unit like the plumes.
Yeah, crossbow now coming in at a really nice angle here from Mr. Yo. hasn't been able to snag a villager just yet, and of course Liereyy is walled in, but just being a little bit annoying here is Mr. Yo. Skirmishers forced to go back with now 5 longswordmen, so this is a very conscious decision here from Liereyy.
I don't know what I think about this actually. Because on one hand you do counter the eagle switch, but on the other hand, he had nothing to indicate an eagle switch, right? So like he's purely doing this based on his knowledge of the opponent's civ and just trying to guess what his opponent's doing. He doesn't actually have anything scouted. I don't know. Maybe it's a waste of resources. Maybe it's not gonna pay off.
He's not continuing the production of the swordsman right now. He's still just focusing on villagers and skirmishers, getting the bow saw upgrade, all that good macro stuff. Is on 2 town centers already. Yo, meanwhile, on 2 TCs as well. Villager count can be pretty even. Yo's even getting his 3rd TC up, and he just seems totally safe at home with the monastery and siege workshop. Fight
breaking up at the top here. Really good micro from both, actually. Like, there hasn't been a unit that's lost, and they've shot like 4 or 5 volleys at each other. I'm pretty sure Liereyy just waiting for ballistics. I know he does have the university. Not sure he actually got the tech in time. Looks like he doesn't have it.
I don't think he got it. Of course, it is a very expensive upgrade in this stage in the game.
Yeah.
But there's no way that Yo will ever be able to actually take this fight and first casualty in like 6 or 7 volleys right there as Yo is trying to run away.
Yeah, what's interesting is that there's actually only, what is that, 6 deaths for Liereyy, 6 kills for him as well. Now make that 7. But I feel like Yo already has a significant advantage in terms of positioning here. He has 3 TCs up, he's got a castle, he's got a monastery, and a siege shop. Is that coming down to only the vill loss from Liereyy in the Dark Age, or is there something else at play here?
Well, Liereyy lost the villager early on, and Mayans start with the extra villager, and Yo's just been at a consistent 2 villager lead for pretty much the entire game, and that does add up over time.
I agree with you. It just goes to show just how much a small impact in the early game can actually snowball into something way bigger. Something I've tried to discuss a lot of times as well when I'm playing myself. And we still see that 2 villager lead, but again, Yo has a lot more to offer on the field. Plumed archers, mangonels, and of course the monastery pickups from relics, always handy.
Mangonel getting a decent shot off on those swordsmen. This is not the angle I feel like Lierey's going to want to fight from.
But I love this. It shows confidence. It shows confidence. He's taking the fight on the Mangonel. Yes, he's taking big hits. Yes, so maybe he's not too happy with the confidence after all. But I do like that he tried to engage that. In the end, 5 scrims from Mangonel. You know what? That's an even trade in my books. Not the end of the world.
He also lost a couple swordsmen as well, but still getting the Mangonel is very important. Monk on the way here for Mr. Yo. The problem I feel here for Liereyy is I'm not sure what kind of aggressive game plan he's going to have, and I feel like Yo's just going to be able to sit behind here, get it up to a 2nd castle even for more Plumed Archer production, and Yo just needs to be careful not to lose his Plumed Archer mass.
Can we just get a quick scouting comparison as these scrims move forward? Obviously, big Mangonel shot. Take a look at Yo's scouting here. A very, very good knowledge of the map, whereas Lierey's kind of in the dark, only knows where him and his opponent are, has no knowledge of the extra resources and relics. Great play there to take out the Mangonel, though. Very nice play from Liereyy.
Yeah, it looks like the minimap was bugging out a little bit for Yo.
No worries.
But still, Plumed Archers sitting here defensively. I guess the Swordsman will be able to pressure down some buildings, but you can see, Yo, with the Plumed Archers, they do get 1 bonus damage against infantry, so they're dealing at least 2 damage here. Actually might even be dealing 3 damage if I know my basic math, and I don't. But, oh, beautiful Mangonel hit coming in here for Mr. Yo as soon as that guy leaves.
I think the swordsmen have kind of paid off here because they killed like a couple Mangonels, or at least helped kill a couple Mangonels. But at this stage of the game, there's 2 castles now from Yo. It just seems like he knows, like it's just easier for him to play with only 1 unit, which is the Plumed Archer. I feel like he's in a fantastic position right now.
Yeah, and on top of that, the army of Yo, despite being incredibly expensive with these Plumed Archers, they only cost wood and gold. Whereas compare that to Lierey's army, swordsmen cost food, as do the skirmishers, and that's gonna hinder your boom a little bit. I mean, Yo's only 4 villagers ahead, but we'd have to imagine he's going to be able to have a faster Imperial Age time because of this. Also grabbing a relic, quite nice.
Yeah, like the relic control here will help secure the late game. He's looking to take more of them on the map once he realizes his monk is idle. The Mangonel play has been great to counter the skirms. Lierey's taking a lot of micro fights here. He's been okay so far, but you know what? It's a lot more focused than Yo has had to pay attention to the fights. Yo just kind of like attacks his Mangonel and looks away. So I imagine Yo has a bit of a cleaner economy here behind this.
Yeah, certainly. But still, villager counts are fairly even. Yo can actually even afford a third castle, but you can see the 2 golds on the side are going to be super sick for Yo because all of his mineral resources are safe right now.
His castles were amazingly placed. One near the main gold and the 2 TCs, and then the other near both secondary golds and the wood line. Perfectly placed TCs in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Castles, not TCs. Whoops.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
So, skirmishers trying to get some nice fights on. They do kill a plumed archer or 2, but I feel like this doesn't really accomplish anything for Liereyy. Like, yeah, you might kill a unit here and there, and that's nice, but Yo's just working towards the better composition in the long run, and he just seems so secure.
Yeah, but it's tricky for Malians because, like, oh, now I'm seeing him add a couple more ranges. I don't know if this is the right call. It's really tricky for Malians because they don't really have an outright counter to plumes besides the swordsman line, and that really takes a lot more economy than just like 80 villagers. It takes more like 120, and he's adding ranges now, which tells me he wants to go skirmishers. But keep in mind, Malians do not get bracer, so I'm not sure if this is the right choice from Liereyy long term.
No, also, Yo establishing his 3rd castle over here south of his base to secure that neutral stone. And of course, more stone for Mayans means more castles for plumed archers. Also, relics, I believe, 2 and 3 going to be coming in for him, so he's going to have that advantage in the long run. Also, he has an Eagle Scout near relic number 4. This guy's planning is just so sick as the plumed archer raid comes into the base of Liereyy.
Yeah, a couple of those go down there. He's going to in and out. This is what the plumes are good for. They're so fast, ranged in, of course. They come in, snipe a couple of vills, and just run right out with little to no casualties. Lierey's probably going to respond and try to send his skirmishers back. If Yo is smart though, he'll probably try and stay out of those, line of sight of those skirms, or he might just dive in and trade those plumes for a couple more vills.
Yeah, I think it's, you want to save the plume numbers if possible, but yes, sniping villagers is nice. We do see that our red player Liereyy is going to be the faster one up to Imperial Age, so I guess just having all of those extra farmers was enough. Mangonel hit will be a 1-for-1, all things considered, but that's good for Yo as he has the 2nd Mangonel here and just has the larger army straight up. 27 military to 15 right now.
Yeah, and I can't stress the importance of Malians lacking bracer. That's going to be a huge deal for Yo. It means that he can just continue massing the plumes and not have to worry about skirmishers matching them in Imperial Age. I mean, skirmishers can do okay without bracer, but they will never do that great against them. And so Liereyy definitely has to plan to switch into full swordsman soon.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to go for the swordsman play, don't you want to just go like whole hog with them and just go like mass swordsman? Like,
I feel like there's not really opportunity in this game because, yes, mass swordsman is fantastic, but if he just went like no skirms, just pure swordsman, he would have got raided to death by plumes. And if you want to go for a push with swordsman, well, there's 2 perfectly placed castles for Yo. There's no opportunity for that.
I think just the basic idea of going for aggression against Mayans in the mid game is not that great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because they're usually pretty defensively placed. Nice killing of those plumed archers from Liereyy, though.
100% agree. Yeah, good use of the skirms there.
But I feel like if you just kind of sit back, try to absorb the plume raiding with some skirmishers and some swordsmen, decent Mangonel hit there, then I feel like maybe you can try and swamp them with swordsmen in the late game because, like you were saying in the beginning, Mayans don't really have much of a counter to that.
Yeah, I think the best answer to it, like, probably plumes because they have the +2 attack bonus against infantry once they get upgraded to elite plumes, but it's still not an ideal unit composition or unit like battle there. Imperial Age coming from both players, 20% faster for Liereyy at the moment. I'm not sure what he can do with that speed though, because like I said, his composition kind of takes a lot more vills to get going with the swordsman. Scrims will be okay for the time being. He might even consider onagers now that I'm thinking about it. Onagers, remember Malians do get siege onagers, and they also get champions, so that seems like a pretty good composition right there.
I mean, when we're talking about compositions that certain civilizations struggle to deal with, it's always been champ onager for Mayans. Like, that has always been hard, and with Malians having the even better champions against what Mayans are going to be throwing at them, that would be a great thing to get going to eventually. We do have Imperial Age coming in, Chemistry coming in right away. Remember, Malians are going to be researching that much, much faster. Is this going to be for bombard cannons, like, really quickly?
Ooh, I mean, chemistry is obviously going to be great for skirmishers. He could go for a couple bomber cannons, but I don't think bomber cannons are great long-term versus plumes because they can easily run in and snipe them, and they're just so incredibly expensive. Probably better is onager if you can afford that. It really depends on what he wants to go for. I think he's got a couple options. Going for the castle right now, though, in the center of his map, very nicely placed.
Yep. Going to just be going for that castle, try and take that map control, abuse that slightly faster Imperial Age. Yo, though, he's an Imperial Age himself, going to be rounding out his plumed archer techs. Nothing too surprising there. And looks like maybe a little bit of a Mangonel 1-for-1 in the middle of the map. Indeed, that is the case. But I still feel like Yo is just working towards the better army composition. He's still going to be able to raid.
Yeah, you say raid, but actually Liereyy walled the top of the map with stone. He also boxed in a relic there, so when Lierey's ready to pick that up, he can go for it. And he also has 2 castles placed on the other sides of his base. So I feel like Lierey's pretty well protected, is investing already into champion and the +4 armor. It seems very even at this point, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty even. There is a little bit of a raid by Yo. Villager count is dead even at this point. Two-handed swordsman here, as you were saying, champion on the way, as is elite plumed archer. I'm not too sure how well Liereyy can push this until he gets some trebuchets or bombard cans or something. That was a nice mangonel hit there for Liereyy. And yeah, Yo's going to be forced to fall back at least a little bit.
Also, trading these skirms with plumes is fantastic now. These skirms are not going to be great long term. They're only really helping him get map control in the early imp, which is what they're doing at the moment. And any trades he gets with those versus plumed archers is going to be the way to go. It's getting some trebs out as well, like you said, for the siege. I would like to see onagers though, and as Mr. Yo is running straight into the economy there with those plumes, not sure if I really agree with that decision though.
Yeah, he's gotten around 10 villagers so far, but Lierey's still pushing at the front. As you're saying, trading the non-gold unit for the gold unit is usually a pretty good idea. But skirmisher numbers are kind of falling low, and Lierey's army count is kind of suffering just a little bit. It is very food intensive, even with supplies in here.
Yeah, and actually I retract my earlier statement. This raid has been fantastic. I knew from the start this would be a great raid. I never doubted it for a second. Liereyy just has to deal with this, and it's really annoying because he has to idle his villas, send skirms one by one, and they're just kind of dying out.
And I think it's the type of villager that Liereyy has to idle that's farmers.
Farmers, true.
And his army is so food expensive. He's only on 21 farmers right now because of all the idling. That is kind of a disaster when you're going for swordsmen plus skirmishers, and all the upgrades, of course. And yeah, some bombard cans coming in like we were predicting. However, Cap Ram is on the way here. Siege Ram plus Plumed Archer is about as classic as it gets for Mayans.
Interesting they went Siege Ram because generally Mayans have 2 options to complement the plumes. Either they can go for Siege Ram or Eagles. Those are usually the 2 options in Arabia. Going for Siege Ram is really nice. However, I feel like in this particular case, Eagles could be a good raiding unit versus champions. Because remember, obviously champions have the Pierce armor, but they're lacking the last attack upgrade, so they're not insane versus Eagles per se.
I mean, they still get like +7 attack or something.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, they do well, but you know, Eagles can be a nice addition to at least raid with them.
Yeah, and you can outrun the champions, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
Liereyy does have all the upgrades he can get for his skirmishers. Not having Bracer isn't great, but at least having the armor upgrade is something. Bombard Cannon, I think, was actually a pretty nice hit right there. And another one, that's an excellent Bombard Cannon hit, doing a ton of splash damage, but no! No! Pathing! No!
Oh my god, yeah, just trying to get through the house. Liereyy has to be tilted by that. Like, the champions are bumping on each other. I feel like the range units are dominant on DE because of that issue. And obviously, Bomber Cannon goes down right there. I know I got a couple of good shots, but Plumed Archers are just so effective at sniping that unit. Feels like it does nothing against Mans.
Just being able to dart in and out with those Plumed Archers, snipe the Bombard Cannon super quickly. Looks like the Plumed Archers were all eventually cleaned up. And all things considered, Liereyy is at more or less equal villagers with his opponent. But Yo's been taking the better trades. That is reflected in the slightly better kill-death ratio and the slightly larger army and map position advantage he has.
Yeah, it's basically winning in every single which way possible. Also has 3 trebs ready in the center with like 10 villagers. He wants to go for a forward castle here. I can't help but feel like maybe this is rushing it. But I feel like he might have the army to hold this position.
Is it rushing it when you have 3 trebuchets and you see that your opponent doesn't really have anything?
Good point, good point.
You know you can take any treb fights, and if you're able to knock down this castle in the front of Lierey's base, that's just going to be incredible for you.
Yeah.
So I think it's not the most YOLO play we've seen from him this tournament.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like he has the military to defend that, but every time I see a castle in the center of the map, or at least on the enemy half of the map, you always think like, is there a chance that it gets denied? It's always worth to calculate the risk beforehand, but it looks like Yo calculated this one perfectly. Sets up the castle and the 3 trebs. We'll take out Lierey's castle for pretty much free here.
Trebuchet will be constructed for Liereyy before the castle goes down, but 3 trebs has always been the magic number to me. You just can't repair against that amount of firepower from the trebuchets. There's 1 bombard cannon here, but the bombard cannon will take around a year and a half to kill that castle by itself. And, okay, yeah, you have the quick gates in, but you're still losing a ton of villagers if you're Liereyy. And the thing is, Yo's army is so cheap, right? You have the cheap Plumed Archers, and you can just keep on making them. You don't have to worry about transitioning all that much. Just keep on making Plumed Archers and whatever siege to supplement it.
I actually love how Yo's using these Plumed Archers. He's not trying to conserve them. He's just running to the economy, trading, let's say, 20 plumes for a lot of idle time and some vills, making Liereyy react to him, and then back home, Yo can just remake these. He's got so many resources in the bank, especially in the golden with department. Plenty of villages as well. Nearing 200 population. This is the time where Yo has to do as many trades as possible. When you're at 200 pop, it's inefficient to camp on your army because then you're just stockpiling resources and not actually improving your position.
Yeah, that is completely right. You need to make sure that you're always being active, especially with Mayans, because their army does get a little bit population inefficient in the late game. It's very cost efficient, but not super population efficient. Yeah. And looks like Yo going to be eager to take another fight here. He has over double the military count of his opponent right now.
Yeah, the biggest problem for Liereyy is he's not able to get his population up here. 145 compared to the 200 from Yo, and it's always just going to go back to 200 every time he loses a few units. The plumed archers in the back of Lierey's base still there. He's literally unable to clear them. And Liereyy does have the map control on the right, you know, taking the extra gold. I just don't think that's going to be enough. He doesn't have the right units to fight this.
He doesn't, and Yo already has the other extra gold that he's been mining for quite a long time in the south, and like you're saying, he has so many more resources than his opponent. Lierey's trying to go for the castle of Yo, but Yo making me happy getting so many building HP upgrades. These castles are going to have 7,028 HP in a second, and as long as he sends some villagers at least fairly soon to repair it, he should be fine.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of those HP upgrades on the buildings, especially on the castles, and especially once again when you have a Civ that actually produces a unique unit, it makes it that much harder to push back to position. And as you can see here, Yo's position on the front, extremely solid at the moment.
You're the first pro I've ever talked to that has liked the building HP upgrades.
I always get them. They're so sick.
Man.
Yeah. Underrated as well. Nili gets them. He's smiling at me. And Nili likes to get them as well.
There we go. Yeah. Anyway, when I said that Yo was going to eventually send a villager over to repair, he actually hasn't. So the trebuchet was knocked down. It's still very low HP on that castle, but still
calculated.
Hashtag calculated. Lierey's starting to push back though. It's like literally like pure skirm versus.
Yeah, true. Actually, the population is kind of evened out here. 165 for Yo, but the resources, man, it's insane. Like he can actually just continue making these plumed archers pretty much for the next 30 minutes. He's chilling. Although we are seeing a light cap tech switch from Liereyy. Very good decision if he can afford it, and he is on 54 farmers. Depending on how well he can hold these plume raids, light cap switch will be a really good addition here.
Problem is, plumes are still in his base, and he still hasn't gotten rid of them. That's definitely not very ideal for him. Meanwhile, I'd like to see at this point a bit of a transition over into the Eagles for Yo. I mean, you've thinned out almost all of the swordsman numbers. You can see that your opponent is relying primarily on skirms and light cav, both of which the Eagle Warriors will do quite well against. So I think that might be pretty nice, but still, just trying to make sure he keeps his population up should be enough to snowball this victory.
One thing to mention as well, Yo has 4 relics in the bank. Liereyy does have 1 on his half. He hasn't collected it yet, though. And 4 relics will allow him to do the Eagle switch, as you said. And I feel like Eagles, you said that they're good against skirms, good against light cav, but I would also argue that they're good against champions because they could just outrun them and raid where the champions are not. Big fight happening in the front of the map here with the castle going up from Yo. Love how he's pushing this position. Frimba
coming in here for Liereyy. Oh, a little bit of cute micro here with these light cav. Oh, what a micro nerd.
Losing all everywhere else, but he's winning this fight.
Oh, yeah.
Not even, though. The castle goes up. Oh, man. It just feels hopeless for Liereyy at this point. But cute micro, though.
Oh, yeah. Gets some style points right there, if nothing else. Siege ramps, though, starting to come forward for Yo. He's starting to treb this castle up on the right-hand side. That's going to go down incredibly quickly. And yeah, it looks like if you just look at the minimap, Liereyy is getting boxed in at pretty much every angle by Yo.
Yeah, Yo is just sticking with the plumes and siege ram now. He hasn't teched into those eagles, as we mentioned, it was a possibility. He's floating 5k food. I'm not sure if he doesn't want to sell that or maybe if the prices on the market have tanked. In any case, though, I think just continuing this recipe for the next few minutes will probably end him the game and give him the win.
Yeah, 82 military to 37 is a rather large discrepancy here. And, like, Liereyy can't really cobble together an army that's going to be especially efficient against this, at least not in low numbers. There isn't a big siege component, no like onagers or siege onagers or something like that, no cavalier. Yeah. And yeah, it seems like the plumed archers and siege rams are going to, well, the siege rams can tear through the infrastructure, allowing the plumed archers to kill just absolutely everything else.
Yo's being really reckless with his army, though. Not sure about that. It was his misclick, or I don't know, maybe he just didn't pay attention. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to throw him the game or anything, but that can't be good, right? Obviously wasting those plumes running under castle fire, but he's bringing in the rams there. This should still be enough to push. I didn't especially play it a little bit cleaner, though. Like, no reason to do that.
Yeah, that was a little bit wasteful there for Yo. Looks like we do see some infantry upgrades coming in now, so the Eagle switch is going to happen eventually. It wasn't the greatest fight ever. Now he's going to be taking his opponent's neutral gold here on the far east of the map. Just asserting that map control right there.
Yeah. Every time you get access to a gold, you just instantly take it.
Oh yeah.
Too important.
That's how you do it. Still, double the military is Yo compared to his opponent. Not going too high with the villager count, which I like, because it leaves so much more room for military space. That's something that Mayans can struggle with if you go to like 130, 140 villagers and you just don't have enough pop space for a strong army. But like you can see, Yo's not struggling for resources at all, so definitely a good idea for him.
Yeah, he's got like more than at least 5 castles, maybe even some more here. Like you said, 110 villas seems to be like a really good number to me. You obviously don't need that much economy with Mayans because they have relatively cheap units here throughout the late game. Liereyy is making a tech switch into Cavalier. I just don't think it's enough. I don't think he even has the gold to sustain this long term. It's kind of like a desperation.
18 gold in the bank with 0 miners, that you don't think that's sufficient for Cavalier?
And 1 relic. Don't underestimate the relics. That's like 1 Cavalier every 5 minutes, but obviously not enough. No, we'll just wait. It's pretty much on a timer for Liereyy at this point.
Yeah, it is pretty much hopeless for him, but yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
GG. So it's been kind of over for the past 5 minutes. I do like that Liereyy tried his best though. Even though it looked grim, he at least kind of, try to do the tech switch where he can, try to mass up, get the population up, but Mr. Yo made very little mistakes in the late game, besides a few missteps with the army.
Yeah, and just like look at this mini-map. Yo is literally surrounding Liereyy, cutting any sort of escape, and just completely closing in his opponent. Let's take a look at the achievements real quick.
Awesome stuff.
Obviously KD in favor of Yo, and look at that, 83 largest army to 44 in favor of Yo. That is pretty huge.
Yeah, so, big KD there. Economy, whoa. Oh my god, double the gold. That says the whole story. I feel like there's just been gold. Mr. Yo made no traction with that game.
No.
He made plumes, rams, and trebs. This is what mines are capable of. Remember, their golds last longer. He had 4 relics. This guy was chilling. He was never in any problem with the gold.
Yeah, and look, he even had less researches than his opponent. He just never had to transition into anything.
Plumes and rams. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't need anything else at that point. Relic gold, there you go. Pick up relics. Guys, and Liereyy especially, pick up relics. Like, it's so important. I feel like it's something that is so neglected, and it's actually very underrated.
Yeah, something that I've always noticed in Yo's play is Yo will go for those relics earlier and more frequently than most top players, and it's something I've always really liked in his play.
If you can quickly take a look at this timeline, actually, you guys will notice around the castle age, this is where, oh, never mind, overlay guy, come on now. The timeline here, notice how at the start of castle age, Liereyy had the more military. You can see it in the dark red versus the dark blue. This is because he had the skirmishers and the swordsman option, whereas Mr. Yo was making that transition into plumes, which obviously required him to get the castle first. However, as the game progressed, Liereyy kind of stayed at the same military number as he was reproducing the plumes, the skirms, whereas Yo, as he added more castles, the plume number only got more and more as the game went on and ended up dominating.
And we are already jumping into game number 2 here. Should be on Lierey's home map, which is Cenotes.
Well, in theory, you can pick anyone, but we'll see.
Well, it's Cenotes.
Oh, okay, true. all right, fair. Liereyy, are you in the game yet?
I'm in the game.
Fantastic, I'll get there soon.
All right, guys, we'll just allow Hera to catch up, but we'll introduce the players here. Winning the last game on Arabia, going to be playing another Arabia-like map. In the blue, as the Aztecs, will be Mr. Yo. And his opponent to the east of the map in the red, as the Huns, will be Liereyy, looking for a bit of a comeback.
Bro, is Liereyy allergic to mesosieves or what? Like, I feel like he has really undervalued them this tournament. And I did talk with him, and I also said that like Meso might have been weaker than it once was because ego pathing is not great these days. But I feel like there's still solid options on these open maps.
Yeah, totally. And I think we can now bring up the Civs.
Or the fantastic.
Overlay guy, the true hero of our story.
Yeah, shout out to Overlay guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you can see for Aztecs on the left side of your screen, villagers carry +5. It's not super intuitive as to what that means, but in effect, it makes your farmers really good, especially before wheelbarrow. And then the military units creating faster, monks getting more HP from those tax, extra gold, and extra gold from relics. Just super aggressive at all stages in the game.
And then Huns are a bit more of a unique civ. Obviously, they don't need any houses, but for that bonus, they have to start with 100 less wood, which is not the biggest of deals. We have the Hun builder pretty much, laid out for us these days. Cow Archer do have the discount in Castle, and it gets doubled in Imperial Age, being capping out at -20%. Cow Archers will be a solid option. However, against Meso civ, it doesn't usually do the best. He probably will stick with Knight Skirm if I'm honest here, and then obviously they have the Stables and the Trebuchets, which are faster working and more accuracy, respectively.
Boom.
All right.
So, Cenotes, we've talked about it before. It's about as much of an Arabia clone as you can get, just a little bit more open with those random pawns. Looking at it, it seems like Lierey's base is fairly wallable. Golds are a little bit out in the open.
Well,
but
he has both stones, but then like the back of his base, I guess, main gold as well is very easy to protect. I think he should be happy with this. As a deer next to the berries, oh, you always like to see that. That's like the best sight you can get in Dark Age as a player.
Oh yeah, like that is just always like, oh, feels good, man.
Yeah, it's
I get all the food.
as good as it gets, really. It is sending a scout nice and early to his opponent's base, by the way.
Right into the TC fire.
Yeah, well, dodged at the end, but took a one shot, just to know he showed up.
Yeah. You gotta let your opponent feel like he has a chance before you smash him. But Yo going interestingly with the other Meso civs. So he is, unlike Liereyy, he is not at all undervaluing the strength of these American civs. And I've always thought Aztecs were just the best Arabia civ, and I honestly think that post-Kuban nerf, they're still probably just the best Arabia civ. And I think that even versus Huns, it's a matchup we've seen forever now. I've always kind of liked how Aztecs can pressure Huns.
Yeah, it just seems like you're never really able to utilize Cav Archers that well against Aztecs because they have crossbow in Castle Age, which are really good against early number CA. And then once you start masking CA, you're like, okay, I'm going to do a big push now. They're in Imperial Age with the Eagles, which take like 2 damage from less, 1 damage from Castle Age CA.
Yeah, and just with those super powerful farmers with Aztecs, can be said, oh!
No!
Fatality.
You don't have to lose a villa every time, Liereyy. Oh man, this is very tilting. And you know what? I've been in this position, I think, in the past games. I mentioned it a couple times. I've lost a few villas myself. Not the best to lose it 2 games in a row, though.
No, and he had to get Loom as well.
Oh, that's really rough, man. Not his best day. I don't know if he's nervous or maybe he just didn't have a couple warm-up games. I mean, this happens. This happens to all of us. It just really unfortunate it happened twice in a row here.
Yeah, that just can't be good for your confidence, especially after losing game number 1. But we'll have to see. He still does have these deer. He's actually taking the deer in lieu of the forage bushes right away, so I do like that. I think the middle positioning might seem weird had you not known the deer were right there, but since the deer were on that side, I think it was just fine. So his food income is still going to be quite strong. Do you expect a scout opening here?
Ooh, going scouts against Meso is always a little bit sketchy. I mean, they have the Eagle option in the Feudal Age, so going scouts into the skirms, which is usually the counter to Men-at-Arms and to Archer, doesn't really work that well against Meso, because obviously they can add in the Eagles. We're seeing an early barracks from Yo. Is he going for a Drush? Looks like he's going to go for Men-at-Arms. I usually expect Liereyy to open Men-at-Arms. I don't know how his decisions will be affected now that he's lost the Ville.
Yeah, I feel like, especially if you're someone that can go for pretty quick scouts, like 20 pop with like Huns, I think then you can make it work. But because you lost the villager and you're probably not going to be feeling super comfortable there, Liereyy going up on what would be 22 pop, barracks on the way, likely going to be adding in some men-at-arms, but Yo is going to be the aggressor almost certainly. Yeah,
Yo's adding in the men-at-arms already, whereas Lierey's still getting his barracks up. Liereyy is making a move to gold with 2 villas, so it's going to be men-at-arm opening for both. The question is, what do they transition out of it into? I think it should be archers from both players, maybe a couple skirms mixed into there, but probably should be archers throughout. I don't think you can get away with going skirmishes against Aztecs because they can easily mix in those Eagles in Feudal Age.
4 villagers here for Yo. Oh, I think he sees the scout there. Yeah, with the barracks, he sees the scout, so what Yo is doing is he's taking the villagers and he's looping them around.
He's really thinking about it. Liereyy takes him and hits on the scout there. Not ideal. That's twice he's lost a Ville and taken scout damage. I know it seems like a small thing, but in pro play, these guys are playing top-notch gameplay. Those small mistakes really add up here, especially with the forward.
Especially with the forward because I'm not sure if... Wait, no, yeah, Yo totally knows about the lost villager because his Eagle was there to help block. So, taking some even more damage, and now Liereyy will know about this scout. Wait, Eagle actually died right there.
That was a good trade from Liereyy, of course.
So both players going to hit Feudal Age at the same time. Liereyy never made any militia.
He's going for straight to archery range. Interesting. You know what? I actually kind of like that. And I feel like Yo going forward, if this, like, obviously it could be a good play. And obviously it's very powerful going into the main gold of Liereyy. It could backfire though. And Yo, you know, has to play this one sharp.
And look at this tower placement. It doesn't
do anything.
It doesn't, yeah. Like the turkey's even about to run out. And Lierey's going to be, I think, fine right now. There's even the 4th militia added. Defensive tower should be totally safe here for Liereyy. And Yo's going to have to go all the way around. Actually, he should just go through the TC. There are almost no villagers here.
I hate this defensive tower, though. Like, the only tower that's more useless than Yo's tower is Lierey's tower here. Like, I feel like if your opponent makes a tower that's not threatening anything, as the defender, you should hang on to your tower, especially if you're not gathering stone, which Liereyy most definitely isn't at this stage. I don't know. That seems like an overreaction with that tower. Maybe I'll be wrong, though. Maybe it ends up being clutch. We'll see how it goes.
I actually think Yo should have just charged through the TC fire there. It was only one villager in the TC shooting one arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, the Men-at-Arms, like, yeah, they're not good against TC fire, but if it's literally just one arrow, it's like walking through a watchtower. Like, you don't care about that with Men-at-Arms. You just walk past it.
I think the reason he didn't want to do that is because if he had ran into like a trap, gets trapped in, loses them to the TC, he has nothing to support the forward. So Yo played it safe, but I do see your point that there was definitely an option there. And Yo is moving around to the gold, and he wants the towers on the other side, where Lierey's tower is definitely not protecting him.
Yep, I think you are dead on the money with that not-so-great tower placement from Liereyy. Yo is actually coming in with a villager from the other side. Big fight here with the Men-at-Arms and the villagers, trying to both establish and deny this tower.
Lierey's squaring up, though. I like this. I like this with the archers. This is exactly what he had to do here. Great quick walls from Yo, though.
Yeah, beautiful quick walls here from Yo, and I think there are enough villagers here to complete the tower in time. But most of the Men-at-Arms have gone down. Liereyy has the positive kill-death ratio, but he's going to be forced off of the gold for the time being. Other golds are to the other side of his base, so he can get there, but it's going to be very exposed.
Yeah, he's transitioning over to the stone, which I think is a good decision overall. By the way, both players played that engagement near perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, the micro from Liereyy to snipe the Men-at-Arms, not losing a single vill, and then the micro from Yo to wall in the tower. Kept his position safe, albeit losing the Men-at-Arms.
Yeah, and I think that Yo would rather have this position than have all of his Men-at-Arms alive right now because he's forcing his opponent off. That's just an outpost. Yo's going to have to be careful right here. Liereyy does have these archers. He can't really just afford to just be with villagers, not under the protection of his own tower. And Liereyy going over to stone, just going to, I think, try and play nice and safe. What is Yo's transition behind this? Going to be archery range.
Archery range, the skirmishers makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, the thing that I love about Aztecs is that they can do everything well. Like, they have so many options, they're very versatile, and now he's just going to see his opponent making archers, go for some quick skirmishers. Not sure what his plan is to do with these 4 villagers forward now. Like, what can you do? You already denied the resources on this side. At this point, you just want to make as much use of them as possible, not have them idling.
I like this, Hera. He saw that the archers were going forward from Liereyy, so what he's doing is he's rotating his villagers around. He's probably going to tower this wood line, knowing that his opponent won't have much of an army, if any, to defend against that, and that is exactly what Yo is doing.
Great play. And he already knows he has the skirms to defend the archers. I mean, it's great play from Liereyy as well to recognize that these archers are not doing a whole lot at home, so he might as well move out. He doesn't have fletching yet. Is it on the way? No blacksmith for Liereyy, whereas Yo has fletching on the way. This should be an easy defense here.
Yeah, just make sure you don't lose any villagers on these forage bushes, but without fletching, the archers are just so much less threatening than they otherwise would be. 3 skirmishers should be able to push this away, no problem with the faster producing ranges and pretty much everything else for Aztecs. It is not as hard to get those defensive units out really quickly.
Yeah, but once again, I'm going to keep mentioning these forward villagers from Yo. He's making towers, but the towers are not doing that much. At this point, I'd rather him get a lumber camp and just start chopping some wood. The towers are not doing a whole lot here. Just stop the aggression. You already have a forward position. There's no need to continue towering nothing.
Well, if you build this tower, right, and then you punch through with your Men-at-Arm, then the second tower here is going to deny a ton of farms.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, in theory, yes, but I feel like that's so ambitious, and Liereyy will spot that coming a mile away. He'll just position his archers with fletching, and there's going to be no threat there.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe Liereyy slips up and lets him get the tower. Liereyy is reacting to his own tower, though, to be fair. Yeah,
Lierey's going to be totally fine here. And, you know, more towers, they can be upgraded to guard towers in the mid-game and just really help solidify your forward position. But if it comes at the cost of a slower Castle Age time, it probably won't feel all that great. And look at this scout transition in late Feudal Age from Liereyy.
Ooh, this is interesting. I mean, he obviously knows the scrims are out on the map. A couple of scouts will help deal with those. The question is now who will get the faster castle time. It looks like Liereyy has more resources in the bank here. And Yo only now getting double bid axe. You know what? This forward, although it paid off positionally, don't think it matters that much because Liereyy is able to take the back gold, I think he's fine. Lierey's fine considering he was down a Vill earlier.
Yeah, like Lierey's in a totally fine position. Yo does have wheelbarrow, so he still has that going for him, but I mean, even with the scout production, it's 11 farm workers for Yo versus, well, he has some idle right now, but Liereyy has more is the point. Tower coming in here as well, deleting the barracks.
Whoa, what a play actually! The scouts coming in, the deleting of the barracks to get the perfect direct pathing of the villagers, gatewalling to the TC. That was some sick moves from Liereyy.
That's not a super intuitive move either. And now more scouts coming in, and all of these villagers and skirmishers are going to be cleaned up by Liereyy. That is like about as perfect a fight as you could ever ask for.
Actually smurfing right there. That was insane play. Like, most players would have went around the wall and it wouldn't have worked. Yo would have walled in his villas or whatnot. Perfect cleanup from Liereyy. Now he's back across the map. The scout edition was fantastic. I don't think Yo expected that. I think it paid off wonders for Liereyy.
And it's not like the barracks really means much versus Aztecs as Huns. Like, you're not even going to be using it.
Of course, yeah. So nothing lost there.
Yeah, exactly. You just want the most direct path possible.
Yeah.
Liereyy is effectively 3 villagers ahead because Yo does have wheelbarrow, Liereyy does not. But even so, with Liereyy likely going to have the faster castle age time, now it's going to be Yo who's going to be the one who's very much on the defensive.
Yeah, and I said it as soon as I saw the forward from Yo, I said, like, you know, this could pay off, but when you're already a Vill up, and he, like you said, he knew about that Vill loss from Liereyy in the Dark Age, it would have been much better, I feel like, to just play standard. I don't know why he had to force the tower rush. It didn't seem like it paid off for me.
No, I think Liereyy just has too many back resources to make that work, and it can be hard to call sometimes, especially if you don't know where every single one of your opponent's resources are,
Yeah.
but I guess when in doubt, play safe.
Yeah, especially when you have a lead. Like, if you get that early Vill, just play safe. You're going to obviously gather more resources because you have a perfect economy. And now it just feels like Liereyy has full map control. Yo only has a couple of defensive towers to show for this. Maybe you can argue he has got a position in his opponent's base, but it's no military. It's just 3 towers.
It's 3 towers and nothing else to show for it, and those 3 towers deny Liereyy approximately 0 resources for the next, like, 25 minutes. Looks like a couple scouts were picked off by Yo, so that's going to be nice. Did Liereyy ever get fletching? Wait, where's Lierey's army? Is it all just at home?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
well, Liereyy has got a couple scouts running around, but he sent the archers back home because I think he wants to go for crossbowmen castle age, so he wanted to conserve those. I see Liereyy doing that a lot, actually. He doesn't like to waste army. It's a smart move, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if you know that you're getting that castle age time soon and ahead of your opponent. It's much better just to conserve those archers. Once they become crossbowmen, they're just going to be able to pick off so many villagers here.
So there's 2 vills from Yo, either lost, wandering in the middle of nowhere here, getting an outpost. Does he want to tower the gold? I mean, it just seems like he's forcing so much this game, and Liereyy is defending with, like, you know, really smart moves, like very effective moves as well. With just getting that preemptive tower on the gold, he's not going to take any damage from these 2 villagers, in my opinion.
I think we saw this in one of the first series. I think it was like Yo versus TheMax, where Yo was behind and he just really tried to force towers. It's like you know, forcing a square peg into a cylindric hole. It's not really gonna be too effective, and tower instantly getting deleted. Liereyy so safe, and now gonna be making knights as a transition. This should just slaughter Yo.
Yeah, fair enough. Not gonna lie, I didn't understand that reference, but listen, I play AoE, I don't do anything else, so I guess it's expected. But yeah, the 2 villas would just run back after building a couple outposts. Nothing too much, as you said, no point in forcing any further.
Yeah. Yo is clicking up to Castle Age, of course benefiting from those Aztec farmers. Not going to be too far behind, but still not in a great spot economically, getting the second range, but Lierey's just going to be ahead in every single way. The second stable on the way. Knight should be queued up instantly along with crossbow and bodkin.
Yeah, interesting he's adding the knight in. Like, what do you think he's really scared of? Is it the mangonel? He's going 2 stable knights.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really nice, actually. It looks like he wants to go for the kill. This is a 1TC play.
Well, why not? I mean,
True.
Yo's far behind economically. He's behind in tech. He's behind in military. Just kill him.
Yeah, pretty much here. This is exactly what Lierey's going for. Will you go for forward siege in your opinion, or probably just better just slowly add TCs at home?
Well, your opponent has all these forward towers, right? So he is going to add the extra TC. I think you could go for the forward siege workshop play, but that would be risky. And kind of like with Yo's forward, can make the big difference, but it's safer just to add economy behind it.
I love that reference, like that, not reference, but the connection between Yo's forward as well, because it could work out, but it's so unnecessary. Like, you already have the lead, play from home, and that's exactly what Lierey's doing. I like the TC, by the way. He's going to get it on the main gold, but also will be able to garrison in the TC, kill that tower. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 utility and economic bonus there.
Yeah, defensive play as well.
Yeah.
Yo's trying to push out with these archers. He's going to get crossbow and bodkin. Liereyy doesn't have the best upgrades for his cavalry, only the +1 defense, no bloodlines. But Lierey's in 6 villagers ahead right now. He already has the second TC up, and Yo, he's trying to build a monastery, but it's currently being denied by crossbowmen.
Well, Yo's playing really sharp defensively. Didn't give up a single vill to those crossbows, and now Liereyy has some knights, but now instant response with the monastery from Yo. So it's gonna be a crossbow with monks for Yo, and crossbow, well, what remaining of the crossbows, and then full knights from Liereyy. Interesting to see what plays out better. In my opinion, I think it's kind of an even game so far, with a slight advantage in Lierey's favor.
Well, the thing that Liereyy has going for him is that his economy is going to be way better as this game goes on. Yo's going to try and change that with these crossbowmen. They'll be able to pick off 1 reinforcing knight for free, so that's going to be quite nice. Liereyy needs to respond to this. And is he not realizing? He's going to pick off another knight.
Well, this is rough, actually. These knights don't have the most upgrades, by the way. Only +1 armor, doesn't have bloodlines, doesn't have husbandry, doesn't even have +2 on them.
Another one.
What is going on? Yo just found the spot. He's like, I'm sitting here for the rest of the game. Like, I'm not moving.
Okay.
And Lierey's running into him, but it looks like he finally reacted there. Awesome.
Okay, Liereyy will likely clean this up, but not after several villagers go down, as well as a bunch of knights.
Bro, this is so messy now. I feel like that was unnecessary as well. Like, Yo has to run through the TC. Yo's playing this really well, bro. He's going so aggressive here.
I mean, he knows that these units are going to die, right? There's no way he could escape with Lierey's reinforcements coming from the back. So just kill as many villagers as you can, and it's going to not completely catch Yo up economically, but it's going to, you know, it's going to go a long way in doing so.
That was an important moment. Think about this moment if Yo catches up in this game. That was a big swing in momentum in terms of economy, almost balancing things out in terms of vill count here.
Like, if I still would say Liereyy has a slight edge because he has the second TC. Yo does as well. And to be fair, Liereyy had to spend so much time destroying the tower with the garrison villagers that the second TC has really only been, you know, working with a bunch of villagers for like right now. And Yo has his own third TC and defensive siege workshop on the way. Yo is doing all the right things to come back here.
Yeah, but there's a critical moment right now because remember, this is what happened. Yo traded his military for vill picks, meaning he's on a disadvantage in terms of army count here. He has to just play safe now, defend, and not take any vill losses of his own, because that means that Liereyy would actually benefit from that trade overall.
Definitely, that is almost exactly what I say in these situations on my stream. So I totally agree. So defensive monk here for Yo, obviously going to help out with the knights. And think if Liereyy had 3 more knights in this, think how much scarier it would be. You'd probably just not care about the conversion.
Nah, I do absolutely nothing. Actually, he's got
really?
no upgrades. Yeah, he has. Well,
okay, the second monk coming in.
+2 coming out. There's 3 monks. I would not run in here unless I had at least like 12 with +2. And I don't think you even need to run in here. Just playing safe would probably be the best option at the moment.
Probably don't need to. I guess he could have tried to deny the TC, but with especially the second monk coming in, I think that is definitely a big no-no.
Yeah.
And Yo's even going to be able to snag that relic right there.
Yeah, so I guess the relic, another thing we've seen from Yo, remember this time it's Aztec relics, which gather or generate gold 33% faster. So if Liereyy neglects the relics and Yo goes for them, it could be just another advantage for Yo in the late game. Let's see how Yo approaches these fights and how Liereyy does as well.
Looks like we have another big fight underway. Mangonel not going to accomplish a whole lot. 1 conversion coming in. Oh, never mind.
Big shot there. Well, decent.
It was fairly good, all things considered. And looks like another conversion is going to come in, but the monk is going to die. Looks like it was a fairly even trade, all things considered.
Yeah, I'd probably say worth it for Liereyy, but Yo's not going to be too unhappy with that as well. Did Liereyy forget bloodlines here? Because he's not making them, and at this number, it's super efficient to get bloodlines. Like, you just don't make 2 knights, make bloodlines, and you give 20 HP to all these remaining knights.
I mean, if you think about it, bloodlines pays off after 5 knights.
Yeah,
so,
true.
14 knights here. That's definitely some bloodlines use right there. And
wait,
is Liereyy? Liereyy?
What are you up to, my man? Going for a forward castle now, and Yo does not have enough stone to respond to the castle, although he could buy it if he really wanted to. Let's see, this is going to be a critical moment. How do these players engage? And who... Ooh, nice attack round for Yo there. Gets a knight for free.
Oh, and look at these knights. They are storming in from the high ground. That is something with Mangonel. Well, actually going to whiff right there. Liereyy hasn't actually started the castle yet. And remember, he's going to be charging right into this TC fire. Going to be adding in a ton of extra arrows, but Liereyy don't care.
No, this is good for Yo. This is actually a misplay for Liereyy. He's diving so deep to try and get these crossbows. He doesn't have bloodlines. I'm sure he's forgotten about it at this point. Look at the score switching. This was not a good fight for Liereyy, and I saw it from the get-go. Not a good play.
Yeah, now we see Liereyy forced to retreat with these knights. Now he's starting the castle, though. Yo's army is a little bit out of position in terms of defending against it. So maybe that's what Liereyy was looking for. But defensive tower is on the way here for Yo. I mean, this castle is obviously going to be so critical, but it looks like it might come up.
Oh, with the Mangonel! Oh, good reaction, though.
And Mangonel instantly dies. Yeah. Beautiful control there from Liereyy. Going to be able to establish his castle on the high ground, almost certainly.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to have to retract once again my statement. I guess the fight from Liereyy, although it was inefficient trading-wise, it did give him the momentum to get the castle down, so now I do see that. Probably worth it from overall. I just do think he could have gotten a cleaner engagement. This works, though. He will get the castle up.
And that's the important thing. And actually, you can add in a few Tarkans, probably. I mean, Prone has, like, all crossbowmen.
Yeah, if he's doing a make Tarkans and Castle challenge, then yeah, it could be a good option. Otherwise, I don't really see the point of it.
Yeah, it's just another production building, right?
Yeah, fair enough. The Tarkans are not too bad. By the way, look at Lierey's, Mr. Yo's resources. He's chilling. He's going to go Imperial Age right now.
Dang, that's some Aztec economy right there for you. He's got 2 relics as well to help him out. One of his TCs isn't going to be super effective, but he still has 2 more behind it. And
he's replacing that one, by the way, in the bottom, yeah, right there. So
yeah,
he's still going to be fine with the economy.
3 spearmen queued up as well. So unfortunately for Aztecs, they don't have halberdiers, so you're stuck with pikemen. But even so, pikemen against knights isn't that bad if you have a ton of them.
Yeah, Liereyy at this point, I feel like you should just go full Castle Age. You're not going to be able to catch up in terms of Imperial Age timing. He should probably just, well, he's getting wheelbarrow now, very late on that one. He should probably just look to go full Castle Age and try to hit Yo's economy where he can, and then get castles on important hills defensively. It's going to be tricky. I feel like Yo has a much better position to this point, but we'll see what Liereyy can do to hold on.
I agree with the full Castle Age play because, okay, Castle coming in here for Yo
nice.
as well, and that should give him the Trevor advantage, obviously, with the faster imp timing. But I was going to say, if there are too many knights for Aztec monks to convert, their options for anti-cavalry aren't that great. So if you just completely, like, flood your opponent with knights, it can really do a number, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Lierey's forgetting bloodlines. I can't stress this enough, but it's 20 extra HP on every knight that he's just not having. It's going from 100 to 120, but now these knights are staying on 100.
Yeah, that is very much a big problem. It's why bloodlines is like the big differentiating factor between what we consider like a good cavalry civ and a bad cavalry civ.
Yeah. And so right now, this is pretty much your generic poor cavalry civ that Liereyy is using. You know, besides the faster working staples. Good reactions from Yo, though. Every time the Knights raid, he just garrisons his villas, sends his crossbow and monk over. But I do like that Lierey's at least trying to raid.
Yeah, I also like that he's walling in Yo a little bit at the north, especially because Eagle Warriors or even some Arbalest sneaking around could be disastrous for him, as Lierey's position is very far forward. So I do like that move, but now we're going to see Imp coming in just a second here for Mr. Yo, and Liereyy is still miles away from that upgrade.
Yeah, so we're seeing pikemen probably with Arbalest. Not sure why Yo's getting redemption. Don't really see the point of that. He's getting redemption block printing? What? Okay, block printing makes a little bit of sense, but redemption not so much.
Convert the Mangonels.
The one Mangonel. I see the point, but I don't know. I don't think he needs
can
to.
just kill the one Mangonel.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think he needs that. But he's been a fan of redemption a lot. Like, I always see him getting it, so I'm not really surprised here.
Well, maybe it's because he's looking for redemption in this tournament. Because, yeah, he has not had as good of a record as some people might think. Liereyy trying to go for this TC snipe. If he had like 4 or 5 Tarkans mixed in there, would have helped.
Bro, what's you and Tarkans, man? You really like that unit, eh?
Yeah, of course.
I'll make you some, don't worry. Next time I play Huns, I'll make you a couple of Tarkans.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right, with Palisade, like shout out to OrnLu as well.
Okay, that's all I need in life.
That's what I'm saying.
But look, this Trev, it's like, how are you going to deal with this if you're Liereyy? You're just going to completely lose your forward position and every single bit of momentum you have.
Yeah, and this is the issue with going for that forward castle. You run the risk of just being slower to imp, and now Lierey's forced to stonewall, play defensive. What would be his best response here? Probably just try to hold on until he's imp, right?
Yeah, but you're making mostly knights, right? That's going to be very, very far away from Imperial. Now he's switching to Cav-Archers?
What? I don't really understand that. I don't like that. I really dislike that, actually.
Yeah, that's... Like, the thing with Cav-Archers is they need a ton of upgrades and numbers to be super scary. Like, yeah, they can snowball super well, but Cav-Archers aren't, like, a great unit if you're already behind.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we're going to have 3 trebuchets out, and that castle's going to go down, and there's going to be pretty much nothing to stop Yo from flattening Liereyy.
Although, I will say, though, that mixing a few Cav-Archers to deal with the pikes might not be the worst decision ever. Like, this is fine. Depends on what he wants to go for. I think if these are just a few cav archers, he already had Bodkin Arrow research. I think this is a fine addition to his army.
I think it also might help in terms of mitigating food spent, so you can save up for Imperial Age a bit better.
Yeah, that could have been the case.
I still am not the biggest fan of it. I think Yo, it's kind of strange because he destroyed the castle, but he doesn't really have much of a follow-up. He still has crossbowmen with, I guess they have Bracer, but...
He's investing so much on monk techs, not getting Theocracy. If you guys don't know what that does, basically it makes it so if you group, if you convert one unit with like 5 monks, it only takes away the faith of one of them. So it helps you with the monk micro as the numbers get, you know, right up there. And he looks like he will be going for monks, crossbows, and pikes, but not really getting that many upgrades on either unit.
Yeah, I mean, the monk upgrades are nice, but especially as Aztecs, because you get the extra HP, but I'd rather just have the upgrades on the mainline units.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We did see Bracer coming in, or came in, and I think Arbalest, Arbalest just came in as well. Well, it's not looking too bad. It looks like Liereyy is just holding on to Imperial Age himself here.
Yeah, but Imp's going to come in fairly soon here for Liereyy, and his army is of a much higher quality than Yo's right now. Like, unless Yo has some AI monk micro, it's going to be really hard to deal with. I do like him grabbing yet another relic.
How many does he have here? He's got, was that 2 in the monastery, 1 coming in. I don't know where the other 2 are. Liereyy, he has a monastery, but God forbid he picks up any more relics. Oh no, he does have one actually. Nice. So Liereyy does have 1 in possession, and a monk in the top.
Okay, so we're going to see Imp come in here for Liereyy. The problem is his economy isn't that amazing, 107 Vils. He has a fair amount of resources. Do you go for the Cav Archer or Cavalry upgrades?
Cavalier. Cav Archers, I feel like, don't do great in low numbers. He doesn't have that many of them. I feel like Cav Archers should just be there to snipe some monks or pikes. Cavalier will definitely be his main line, and as you can see, Cavalier and armor coming in right away.
Yep. The problem here for Liereyy is he doesn't have a defensive castle. I mean, he doesn't have any castles. So there's nothing really to stop these trebuchets unless he fully commits to the fight. And that can obviously be quite disastrous when you're already down 0-1 in the series if it doesn't go well. But yet again, once those info upgrades come in, shouldn't Liereyy just be able to patrol across the map and kill this army?
I mean, it comes down to monk micro, as you said. How AI can Yo be with these monks? He does have the 3 trebs, like you said, so it's a great pushing unit. But also, if he does lose the push, he does lose a lot of gold, you know, in one sweep. As we say, the sweep might actually come in right now as Lierey's preparing to move out.
Yeah, the Arbalest numbers are fairly low for Yo. Cav Archer's coming in trying to snipe some monks, but the monks have 75 HP. Those guys are tanky.
And those Cav Archers did less than nothing there. They killed 0 monks. The Cavalier cleaned up. I think the Cavalier will be fine here. I guess the Cav Archers soaked up some damage. Just to say, you know, they showed up to the fight. Where are the pikemen from Yo? He's idling like 8 pikemen off to the side. That's kind of a big mistake, actually.
That's definitely a mistake, and you see the Cavalier just absolutely mopping up right there. The conversions just were not enough pikemen. Now coming in, though, and now we might be seeing enough pikemen to be scary. I think Liereyy doesn't want to overcommit here, and indeed he will be pulling back just a bit.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that Liereyy will never have the mass to clear this now. Pikemen are really cost effective versus the Cavalier. Monks in the back will make it that much harder to engage, and then the Arbalest as the DPS unit. And the resources from Yo, so many, like so many. He can produce so many units now, and he is making that ego switch now. This has been beautifully played from him so far.
And his army's, it's so cheap and it's so quick to produce with that additional Aztec bonus, and he's getting conscription to top that all off. I mean, as you were saying, Lierey's army it's going to be, I think, really hard for him to ever close in 200 pop this game, whereas Yo should be getting there in the not all that distant future.
Yeah, Yo also has full map control here, taking the stone on the right, getting a castle up as well, just playing the late game as he knows how to play it. Very solid, very map oriented, and like we said earlier, he does have the relic control, and now currently has 2. I think the 3rd one is still being bought in from him somewhere along the lines, somewhere around.
Yeah, not actually too sure what happened with that. Oh, it's just wait, he has 4 relics.
Oh, it's in another monastery.
The double monastery debate.
I was just kidding, guys. It was 2 in each. Obviously, I implied that.
Oh, yeah, naturally.
Yeah,
Don't worry, I missed it too.
But, yeah, so Liereyy, in this position, he's going up against 4 Aztec relics. He doesn't have the mass. What's his best play here?
And that's the problem with Huns, right? They don't have the most varied tech tree in the world. I mean, just swamping your opponent with a bajillion knights would probably be your best bet, but that's obviously so expensive, and because Liereyy already lost that mass to begin with, it could be quite hard. But if you can swoop around and get these trebuchets while the units are out of position, that might be a good play.
This could be a big engagement here. Yo is not defending those trebs at all. What is that? What's going on? Oh, he's running back for the monks? What's happening?
I don't know if that was intentional or if that was DE.
Okay, well, in any case, the Cavalier finally making it through that piece of wall. He will get a nice fight here. Not gonna lie, that is exactly what he needs to get back in the game. More fights like this, but don't let this kind of. Don't think that Lierey's back in the game. There is still that ego transition behind this from Yo, and he's prepared to show it now.
Yeah, Eagles are coming in. They do have Garland Wars. They're just missing Blast Furnace, so +6 attack right now. Not too bad. And look how low the Cavalier numbers are right now. Lierey's mostly relying on these Cav Archers, and Yo has all the resources he needs for like another 50 Eagle Warriors.
Okay, but I want to see Yo spam now. Like, he's got so much gold, spam like 40 Eagles and really just swarm Liereyy,
He has 8 barracks.
Yeah, there you go. Just really put the foot on the gas pedal here. He's only producing like 2 Eagles. I want to see like 20 in the queue. Just kidding, game's over.
Yeah, and behind this, Yo is prepping the transition into Atlatl skirms too, just for the nail in the coffin.
He had it figured out. Pretty much. Yeah.
Like I've been saying from the beginning, like this dude's like long-term planning in a big macro game is just so insane.
Yeah, he was setting up the late game as well perfectly. Look at the castle there, securing the gold and the stone. Stone has already been fully mined up. 4 relics in the bank. Beautiful game from Yo. Very, very nice. I was a bit skeptical about the forward. In the end, he might have actually, it might have not paid off, but he managed to bring it back nicely.
I think the defense in early Castle Age, when he was still in Feudal Age and was just trying to hold on to get his own Castle Age, that was so immaculate from Yo.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's probably the critical moment in the game, actually. Let's quickly show the achievements here.
Yep. So KD's a little bit in favor of Yo, naturally. Again, 6k gold advantage for Yo.
Oh my god, man. These Mesosivs and this guy's control, on top of that 4 relics, like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and this is actually a situation where the tech difference is huge because Liereyy was never able to round out his Imperial Age techs for his army because it's just so expensive. Yeah,
and Yo was kind of trolling with the monks, getting like every tech for them for no reason, pretty much. But I mean, they did pay off a little bit here and there.
I mean, having the extra HP probably saved several monks there.
Yeah, true. It did make his army comp a little bit beefier. Relic gold is nuts. Like, it's so good.
Just Aztec things.
Yeah, Liereyy did have the Vil high, but Vils don't really give an accurate representation of how your economy is flowing. Liereyy had a lot more disruptions in the mid game.
And of course, we have to remember Aztec farmers are super, super good. And yeah.
Not much to say about the timeline here. It was a pretty standard game. Both of them had army the whole time. I think really it just came down to Aztecs being a little bit faster and more efficient with their units.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying in the very beginning, where Aztecs can really put the pressure on Huns, and the Huns can just feel a little bit flustered and have a hard time getting to those super scary Cav units.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, you 100% agree?
OrnLu, man. Oh, these puns, man. These puns are killing me inside. OrnLu guy shaking his head as well. But what's the next map going to be, though? So it's going to be, once again, Lierey's home map, right?
Yeah, so we're going either to Land Madness or Valley.
Land Madness or Valley. I guess Land Madness is first on Lierey's choice, so it looks like he will go for that one. But it was interesting to note that we didn't see any arena. I mean, we saw the ban on it, and we didn't see Villese Fortress, so only open maps in terms of land. And let's hop right into the next game, which will be... I can't see. Land Madness. That's over the guy.
Freaking Kez boards, man. Trying to hit the Y key for Liereyy.
Nah, 1R, man. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter.
I did spell it correctly.
Oh, whoops. Okay, so we're seeing a Mongol war, though, on Land Madness. If you guys aren't familiar with the map, we'll go ahead and show it off. But first, I think we should bring up the civs and show exactly why my Mongols. Just kidding, we're not going to do that.
No.
Let's take a look at the maps first. Why not?
Got to give OrnLu guy a chance to set it up. But here we have Yo in the east of the map, winning the last 2 games, looking so incredibly strong in this series with his macro game. And he'll be the Blue Mongols, and his opponent needing to make a bit of a comeback right now. It's going to be Liereyy in the red, also as the Mongols on this very open map, Land Madness.
Yeah, so, okay, Liereyy is down 0-2. Mr. Yo played 2 fantastic games. However, now it's a mirror match, and I feel like Liereyy saving the Mesosivs, there might be a comeback here. But this is an important game for Liereyy. You don't want to be 0-3 down in a best of 7 series here.
No, you don't want to have to make the comeback, full, like reverse sweep level. So let's get the civs in now.
Yeah, over the guy, and he's nodding his head. Fantastic there. Mongols for both players. Cavaliers fire 25% faster. I think that applies for Mangadai, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Mangadai, very fast firing unit. Like Cavalry and Hussars have 30% more HP. However, they do not get the last armor upgrade, so they're not that strong. Hunters work 50% faster. That's the main bonus for me in this game.
Yep. And of course, the scout cavalry having the extra line of sight is just nice for early game scouting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right. The hunt bonus is where it matters, because if you look at the map for these players, I mean, in addition to having these 2 boars, obviously, there should be a bunch of deer around. Yep. Here's some deer.
There it is. We can already see, actually, over to Yo's map, he's quickly luring in. He's lured in 3 deers in under 3 minutes. This is like a new record, actually. Actually, I'm a bit ahead. Spoiler alert, that deer does... Oh, no, I'm behind. Never mind. I'm ahead. Okay.
Okay.
I just couldn't figure out how many deers were pushed in. But yeah, that is the third one coming in right there. And he is going to go for the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, why not? The deer happen to spawn fairly close to the TC of Yo right here, and on the other side, he still has 4 more deer he can take. And it's just Mongols are so strong on this map with a ton of hunt. I think that's why we're seeing people pick them.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing, I think, an incredibly fast feudal age time for Yo especially, but obviously both these players.
Yeah, so Liereyy is starting to lure in some deer himself. Obviously, made use of the boars first. The deers are coming in a little bit later. Let me just point out that usually the weakness in luring deer is that you don't get time to scout your opponents. However, with Mongols having the bigger line of sight on the scout, they could easily go for the greedy deer lures early and then eventually make up for the scouting time because they have the wider scout radius as well. So, like, Mongols is just a perfect early game save on this map.
Yeah, and it's why, like, Mongols have the huge spike in early game and the huge spike in late game. It's the mid game where they are weak, but in a mirror scenario, obviously that's not going to be too big of a difference. And that is number 4 deer lured for Yo, just now grabbing his second boar. What pop would you like to see these guys go up on?
15. Just kidding. That ship has sailed. More realistically, I think we'll be seeing like a 17, maybe 18 pop. Also, I want to see no loom.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to see no loom is because generally Mongols go up so fast that like your opponent doesn't have time to like get to your base before you have before feudal age kicked in. You easily go for the loom as well right away in feudal age. So skipping the loom will get you up that much faster. I only want to see it in Mongols War though, where there's not any potential of an early drush.
Yeah, and I think that you used to see it in Hun Wars when it was just like always scouts. And in any situation when you don't think your opponent can go for a drush, then you will see people skip the loom. But that is not going to be the case for Liereyy. I guess probably wanting to play a little bit safer because he is down 0-2 in this series and has lost villagers in the early game.
Oh my god, Liereyy did not lose a villager. Does he know how to play like this? Like, he's like, I have so many builds now, I can actually execute my build. So that's really nice for him. Actually, you're gonna have to clean start. Does have the mill near the deer in the back as well.
Yeah.
So has a really good early game start. Let's see how he's able to transition this one into the mid game here. Looks like Yo clicked up 1 pop later. However, he skipped loom.
Yeah, and Yo was... he did do this in, I think, one of his other series as well, so he's certainly a player that will take these risks when he feels the need to. That is deer number 5, by the way, that Yo is lured.
His economy is insane. By the way, my mistake, he used up 2 pop later. Obviously, the timing of one pop. Maybe take a look at a point of view of a player here as we're getting to this feudal age. I imagine we'll see scouts from both players. Take a look here at Mr. Yo, though.
Yep, look at Yo, luring those deer. Definitely luring those deer.
I mean, there's not much to say at this point here. But, you know, he is nearing feudal age. We'll start to see where he wants to get the barracks down. Is going for 2 lumber camps, which is pretty standard stuff. Barracks? Oh, I'm not a fan of this.
No, that barracks placement doesn't really help too much as far as a wall goes. But the other POV here for Mr. Liereyy, scouting out his opponent's base. You can see he has like a perfect ring of scouting around his base. It's just like launching right to the other side of the map.
Yeah, he's like, I have this circle, I'm going to look for Yo circle now. Like, that's all he wants to know of the map. Obviously is looking for
That's like
Mr.
MBL
Yo,
scouting.
at this point. Both players are going for a stable, I imagine. We're seeing the stable from Liereyy. And let's go back to the main screen here.
Yep.
I imagine Yo's going to go for a stable here.
I mean, he's not on gold, right? So
Yeah, there it is, stable. It's fairly standard. Just want to point out, Loom just kicking in for Yo. So as you can see, no threat.
Yeah.
No threat whatsoever. Got that early Vill advantage. Probably made like 40 or 50 resources just from delaying that Loom right there.
Yeah, and did Liereyy grab Bidaxe already? Because...
I can check. I'm a co-caster.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Might as well do my job.
Yeah, I mean, Yo was able to grab that right away, and he has all that extra food from luring all of those deer, so I think that might have been a possibility. A little bit of a scout scuffle here. I think it's 25 HP for both. Indeed it is. And Lierey's even grabbing Horse Collar, so I assume he has Bidaxe.
Yeah, so Horse Collar and Double Bidaxe. Confirmation from the co-caster. Liereyy got both of them, and I think Yo did the same.
Yeah.
So it's fairly, like, standard stuff. Yo is getting a big wall, though. That's not something you see often on Land Madness.
Well, in case you guys don't know, Land Madness, probably should have said this, this little ring of ice you see around the wood lines is unwallable. That's the point of them being there, so it just further lends the aggressive aspect of this map. A little bit of another scout fight going on here. Well, 1 scout dead apiece, and both players are going to retreat. Everything completely even so far.
Yeah, not much is going down. By the way, the increase in score for Liereyy here, it's not that he's just in a massive lead at the moment, it's just mostly due to scouting. Although some people would consider scouting is actually an early game lead, so, you know, to each his own. defensive spirit from Yo, he probably wants to move out with the scouts like in the near future, so he's getting the spears out just to keep himself safe at home before he moves out.
Yep, 2 spears for him. Liereyy is making some spears over on his side of the map, though, so that isn't going to be too insane. And just trying to take from multiple mills is Liereyy, so I think that is another nice little move from him. Just really delay having to farm as long as possible.
By the way, some random fact about this map is that there's no wolves, so you can actually send a spearman across the map without risk of them dying to wolves. Also, men-at-arms are that much easier to go across with. Not a big deal. Just pointing it out that there are no wolves on this map. That's why villagers can take deer on the sides if they really want to, with absolutely no danger from the natural habitats or natural terrain, I guess you can say.
Terrain? Are wolves part of the terrain?
Terrain, yeah.
The local fauna?
OrnLu defending his pack. I like it. I respect that.
There we go.
Anyway, whatever you call them.
Scouts are coming in. I think there's a little bit of an HP advantage here for Liereyy. Also has the defender's advantage, so Yo is going to nope right out of there. Is like a villager ahead, though. Not too sure how that happened, but...
There he didn't lose one, I promise you that. Really terrible engagement there from Yo. I'm surprised he stayed that long inside. Takes a lot of damage, is running back though. Only lost 1 scout, but remember, taking damage is actually a really bad thing in Scout War. Basically, when Bloodlines kicks in, an upgrade that gives plus 20 HP to scouts. If you have less HP on your scout, you will get not 20 HP, but a percentage of it based on your remaining HP. So losing HP is actually a big factor here. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. That applies to any upgrade, by the way, that increases your HP. It's always based on a percentage of whatever HP you have remaining. Yeah. So, hang on to the HP, boys.
Yeah. Yo's going to try and go for another wraparound. It is 6 scouts apiece. HP is pretty similar.
I love how active these two guys are with the scouts. Notice how as soon as they go out of each other's line of sights, they're always looking to sneak. You look, Yo instantly sneaking on the other side, Liereyy instantly looking for him as well. Actually, the turnaround back to Yo's base. This is interesting. Lierey's going to attack, and Yo's going to attack here. This is going to become very micro-intensive very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. It's just partially because this map is so open that you can usually find some way to make some scouts happen, but we're going to have to do a lot of jumping back and forth. Oh, I think this is a bit of an overchop here from Liereyy.
No, that is an overchop. Oh, Yo! Oh, good wall. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, but Liereyy potentially running into the scouts. That's a lot of scouts. That's a lot of scouts, and Yo is not fully walled because that's pretty much impossible on this map. Uh-oh, Lierey's looking to do a lot of damage right here.
Does he take the fight against the Spearman? He's opting not to. I think that's a good decision overall. Oh, the quick walls from Yo, though. Oh my god!
Can he get the poke?
He can trap them! He's trapped them all, and it's not going to be the end of the world because there's only 3 spears, but that is a fantastic play from Yo.
Yeah, but now he can bring his own scouts home, I believe. Yeah, at least they're still mostly alive, but actually, Yo doesn't have much of an army.
So nice. Well played from Yo. That is definitely a highlight here. Walling in like 9 scouts, and the question is now, does he send his scouts back to deal with them, or does he just mass up a couple spears? Not sure which route he's taking so far.
Well, you do have to be careful, though, because if the spearman or scout jump in, then the gate will open, and then, the scouts can potentially run out. And this is a lot of resources. Like, this is a lot of resources in villager time.
Yeah.
It's still likely worth it, but it's not...
it's not all good.
Yeah.
I like that you pointed that out as well, because most of the time we're always hyping out, oh, it's a sick play, but there isn't a lot of investment going into these walls. However, overall, 9 scouts trapped. I think I take that trade most of the time here.
Yeah, it's definitely, I say, a net win. And 2 spearmen and 4 scouts here. A lot of these scouts are very, very low HP for Liereyy, so that is going to be a pretty nice cleanup. Scout making its way into the villagers, though. Looks like 1 villager will go down. Liereyy doing a nice job targeting the weak villager.
By the way, an important switch up in momentum here. Well, as the villager goes down on the front there for Mr. Yo, if you could just take a look on the side. Yeah, 1 villager went down. Liereyy is switching to archers, whereas Mr. Yo went for a market, and I love this, going for a tower on his wood, which will also kind of keep his berries safe. So the way this game will progress now is that Liereyy will have the archer transition, but I think Mr. Yo should have the faster castle each time. Quickly taking a look at the resources here. Pretty sure, yeah, Yo has way more. There you go.
And he's just spent less on military overall, right? In addition to not going for the archers, he didn't make as many scouts as Liereyy, not even close.
Yeah.
And something I noticed early on for Yo is the early mining camp and going on to stone. Something we did see, I think against you, was going fast Mangadai.
I like this play, actually. If you're going to be up fast, I kind of like this play. Going for Blacksmith now. Oh, but there's a hole in between the markets. Yikes. That's going to be annoying more than anything, honestly. Like, that's just annoying. There's just 2 archers here. Pretty much a couple mosquitoes running into your base here. I mean, Yo should probably just... actually, he doesn't have any military. What happened to his scouts?
They all died killing the other scouts.
I guess so. He also lost some on the way here. The spearman picked them off from Liereyy. Actually, Liereyy, this army is going to be pretty strong, forcing a tower from Yo.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a disaster. I mean, it's not like the end of the world, but it's potentially denying, I mean, it is denying his castle age because his villagers were pulled off of the gold. So eventually he'll just, I think, maybe even sell some wood here if he needs to.
Yeah, I think at this point, definitely sell that 100 wood, get 70 gold in the bank, and just click up the castle age. The most important thing for Yo now is to make sure his castle time is strong, because if you are going for a faster castle age build and you're slower to castle age, which in this case he is, Liereyy clicking up. I like Lierey's position here. I really like Lierey's position at the moment.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the game that you played versus Yo on this map, where Yo is trying to make this fast castle Mangudai work, but if you're just behind economically, because Liereyy can very easily just add extra TCs really quickly upon hitting castle age and just keep up the pressure, then it can be so hard to ever make a comeback, because late game Mongol mirrors is just about how many Mangudai you have with how many upgrades.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, although Mangudai is the power unit throughout most of the game, in early castle age, crossbows tend to perform a little bit better. Having the extra range, easier to mass based on the archery range. Overlay guy is giving me a hard time. Had to move my feet, whoopsies. But yeah, so early game crossbow or early castle crossbow will be the option for Liereyy, and I think that should be the better option compared to fast Mangudai.
Yeah, we have some skirmishers here, but they don't even have the fletching upgrade just yet. Archer's going to be forcing a little bit more idle time. Yeah, the spearmen don't really accomplish a whole lot right now. Tower is going to be missing almost all of their shots. And this is just Liereyy being nice and annoying, which is really, it's the difference between him being 10% ahead to castle age and like 20% behind.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, even if the upgrade times seemed like close, it definitely should have been way further ahead for Mr. Yo. Question is, can he still commit to the Mangudai? Because he had to make 2 towers, which was not in his game plan. He only wanted to make 1 initially. He has enough on stone that it should be fine, but I love Lierey's pressure here. It's really not killing anything, but hurting Yo's economy, forcing him to add skirmishers and moving away his lumber.
Yeah, definitely. And Yo, he's only at 461 stone right now. He does have some food and wood in the bank, so he might be able to buy a castle right away if he feels that he should do that, getting actually gold and stone mining upgrades as well. And all that just comes down to the hole, man. There's always a hole.
Yeah, that hole didn't cause him that much, I guess, damage, but he was forced to make the tower. Not ideal if you wanted that castle, as you mentioned. The question is now the TC timing. So we're seeing a fast university coming down for Liereyy, and he is also going for 1 TC, and is walling up the left. So the issue now for Liereyy is that he's going to go for crossbows. It's not as mobile as the Mangudai, which is the projected unit from Mr. Yo. However, if he's able to wall up the map, get early ballistics, he could kind of counter the mobility of the Mangudai with the pressure of the crossbows.
Yeah, mobility doesn't really mean a whole lot if you're just hitting in your base.
Yeah, exactly.
And castle now coming here defensively for Yo. Very defensive position for that castle.
Good or bad? What do you think?
I would have liked to have maybe seen even at the front of his base, just to like protect a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, he already had 2 towers on that side.
Yeah.
This is just an extremely safe castle. He's saying, listen, I don't need this to be in a greedy position. I'll make more castles as the game goes on. I just need this one to go up, no problems. So, I don't know. I kind of like that one. He is taking a lot of pressure from the crossbows, by the way. Just the presence of Liereyy here is forcing Yo kind of off that wood line.
Yeah, it's forcing a lot of idle time, and that is never a great thing when you're in a mirror matchup and everything is just on a razor's edge in terms of just who is ahead. Liereyy, meanwhile, is on the 2 town centers, has not built a 3rd one just yet, but has ballistics, and yeah, Yo is even adding in the university as well, so he's sticking with the 1 TC for now, as Lierey's economy is just going to be getting further and further ahead.
By the way, Yo had to invest into the skirmisher, which is a very wood-intensive upgrade. So that's going to delay his second TC just that much more. Will he produce any Mangudai? I think he won't. So that castle is kind of just, I guess, like a monument. It's just for show at this point. It's not going to hold.
It might as well just be a wonder.
Exactly, and that's 650 stone, pretty much wasted at the moment until Mangudai start to come out, which he is starting to make some, to be fair.
Yeah, I still think you need to make at least a few, just to potentially get some raiding done and at least keep your opponent out of your base. Skirmishers can be coming forward a little bit here as well.
Yeah, Liereyy will stay, Mr. Yo will stay 1 TC for a while, I'm quite sure of that. Liereyy, on the other hand, adding in 3 TC. I'm not a huge fan of his TC locations. 3rd one he's adding is on top of his gold, which he already had a mining camp on. Seems kind of unnecessary to me. Let's see the micro, though. Great micro so far from Liereyy on the front.
Yep. Ballistics is, I believe, in for both players. And
I'm Coldcast, so I will check for Yo. It's for sure in for Liereyy.
Yeah, it's for sure in for Liereyy. Yo got the early university, so I'd imagine he'd have it. But Liereyy is going to be padding a retreat right now.
So no ballistics for Yo.
That's kind of a wasted university then at this point.
Yeah, he's taking a TC instead, so it feels like Yo is a little bit indecisive here. Like, either you go for Ballistics and University, or you go for TC. You don't make a University and let it sit there, because again, that's Monument number 2 pretty much in his base. He is starting to master Mangudai though.
Yep, and that is, of course, the ultimate unit in this matchup. But you can see Liereyy, he's 11 villagers ahead right now, and it's going to be even climbing further ahead as Yo is still just not getting that second TC up just yet. Okay, well, it's about done, but still, it is not going to be remotely good for Yo as this game goes on. And this is just going to be so many flashbacks to your game versus him on this map.
Was that 13 vills up for Liereyy? It feels that way, doesn't it? That Liereyy will just have much better economy. Yo will be forced to make something happen here, which I don't think he will get anything done, because Lierey's base is so well set up here. Even stonewalling the left, Liereyy is not messing around here. I'd love to see that. That is some tournament play Liereyy right there on the left side. Yeah, bottom. Yeah, oh, bottom. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying left on my screen. Whoops.
It's all good. So, yeah, this is just the ultimate safe play. And, you know, when you're ahead, just play safe and get that advantage, get more and more ahead, and ultimately just smash your opponent in Imperial Age.
Yeah.
That's what Liereyy says all the time. Yo, meanwhile, does have pretty good upgrades. He has Husbandry, he's now getting Ballistics, he has +2/+2, but it's just numbers. He's at 15 to 26.
I love this play, by the way. Okay, let's just take a look at this fight here. Great micro so far from both players. Mangudai comes out. It looks like Yo actually taking good trades, but the Mangudai will force him back. Liereyy made half a market. He made half a market. That's it. This village is not there, by the way. They just half a market. He'll save that one for later. Very smart move. I've never seen this before, but I have to say, like, I have to start trying this one out myself.
The market's value will appreciate over time.
Yeah, he was like, I'm saving this for later. You know,
you know, in case of panic build market.
So I don't know. That was a little bit of a weird thing I saw. Yo is still on 2 TCs, so as we keep mentioning here, Lierey's economy will continue to increase over time. Now we're seeing, what is that, 17 vill lead, if my Nili math is on point.
Yeah, regardless, it is a big lead. Another fight here. Yo's been taking actually some fairly decent trades, all things considered. He actually has a great kill-death ratio, but ooh, nice snipe there on the one forward villager.
Preventing the forward siege workshop.
This is why I always feel like if you're going forward, you need to send more than one villager.
And we got half a market and half a siege workshop, so very very symmetrical gameplay so far. And I really like this position on the hill for Liereyy as well. He's just camping the hills with Mangudais and crossbows, and with Ballistics. Oh, that was a nice shot. There's not much that Mr. Yo can do, even with his immobility, I feel like.
Yeah, and this is just the problem with mirror matchups a lot of the times, right? How do you come back when you're at an economic disadvantage?
Play better, forehead.
Forehead. Omega lol.
Yeah, well, the thing is, yeah, obviously Yo, you know, to be fair though, Yo does have the unit that will be stronger in Imperial Age. So, you know, it must be noted that if he's able to stall the game somehow, he could have the mask going into late game.
Yeah, but Liereyy is gathering stone right now. He's building a castle forward, going to be in a nice position for him to defend himself, and we have to imagine that the Imperial Age times should be better for Liereyy, and, and importantly, he's going to be able to get those expensive Imperial Age upgrades for the Mangudai.
Okay, what I want to see now is a castle, and as I say that, I see the castle from Liereyy on that defensive hill where he prevented the siege workshop from Yo. That's going to keep an eye on a gold, on a stone. It's on a hill. I can't really think of a better castle than that ever. It also keeps an eye on a wood line, which is important in that madness. The question is now, Liereyy, does he continue investing into crossbows or scrims? By the looks of things, he's stopped production for a while now. Gonna be making that switch to Mangudai himself.
Uh-oh, DauT's calling. He wants his castle back.
Oh, that's rough, actually. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because that castle is still easy to kind of like protect, because it's relatively safe, but Liereyy can just sit here for a while.
This is exactly what happened in your game.
Yeah.
Remember when Yo denied your castle for a long time with his
100%.
Mangudai? But now the shoe is on the other foot, as they say, which doesn't make any sense, because you only keep shoes on one of your feet.
Actually, now that you mention it, I've never heard anyone say that, so...
Really?
Yeah.
It's a popular saying.
I'm
in my
very
head,
skeptical,
in my
Mr.
head.
Orna.
Regardless, that's a lot of Mangudai for Yo. That's 13 Mangudai, but still.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, this is the unit you want to be going for in the late game, so this is, like, if anything, looking good for Mr. Yo army comp-wise. Obviously, Liereyy miles ahead in economy.
Yeah, and okay, that's going to be an okay Mangonel hit. And eventually, Yo will finish this castle for sure. But he's going to lose some Mangudai. That's two Mangudai.
There's a double kill there.
Double kill. Okay, so Mangonel totally whiffing right there. Liereyy with some of his trademark excellent crossbow micro. And yeah, I mean, he's making Yo work for this castle, that's for sure.
Yeah, Yo's gonna get it eventually. Oh, great. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, actually, wait, more?
Danger close.
Wait, that was double agent Mangadile, actually. Manganel right there. It sniped like 4 Mangadile with that one shot.
It like killed Mangadai and Crossbowman. It just killed a bunch of stuff.
I don't know about that one. Manganel still moving forward though. It's out for blood, man. It's killing everything. Blue, red, it takes them all. Looks like the castle's up, but Liereyy is up to Imperial Age. Yo, actually surprisingly close.
Yeah, I mean, Yo's resources aren't too far away, and with 26 farmers and 9 gold miners, he doesn't need that much. Oh, nice 1-for-0 Manganel trade there for Liereyy. Another castle coming forward for him, and I think this is just how you play this matchup, or this map. You have all these little hills everywhere, and just get the castles on them, and just take map controls, because there are so many mineral resources that just spread out everywhere.
Yeah, and so it's not the typical Mongol warrior where you see like, you know, conservative with the Mangadai, you want to tech into Hussar. I think this one you just go pure Mangadai, maybe a couple Trebs as well.
Yeah, this one is, normally the Trebs aren't as good in the Mongol War because it's usually very concentrated, and the Mangadai are so good at sniping trebuchets.
100%.
But in this situation, I think it really can come all down to those Treb wars with castles facing each other and whatnot, because you just can't dive in with Mangadai into castles. Upgrades do seem identical for these two players. Maybe there's a thumb ring or something difference. But that's actually going to be a nice little bit of a trade for Yo. You want to keep the Mangadai numbers low for Liereyy.
Yeah, and this was pretty much the big advantage for Yo, is having the extra Mangadai. I keep saying Mangadai numbers. I want to see though from Liereyy, since he has the faster imp, I want to see him just like play back, get the Trebs out, and then just sit under his Trebs. He has some skirms out, which can protect his early game Trebs, and look to take some castles away from Yo, because Yo does have the more castles. Ooh. Nice try with the attack ground. Actually, it ends up doing pretty well. Liereyy. Oh, the scrims will go down. It's not the biggest deal, though, in the world.
I would have loved to have seen Liereyy.
Ouch.
Yeah, like you're saying, I would have loved to have seen Liereyy be even more defensive with his Mangadai. He's just kind of sending them in just to, you know, do whatever he can to stave off his opponent. If you just hit Imp, like now, he still had maybe another 10 Mangadai alive. He could have just, you know, relied on his walls and TCs and whatever, and then just killed him with, like, a Bracer.
Yeah, obviously we see the whole map. Obviously Liereyy doesn't know that he's that much further ahead to Imperial Age. If he had known, he probably would have played it a little bit differently. One thing I don't like, though, is Liereyy has all 3 castles in the same spot. This is, in my opinion, not how you should play this map. You really need to spread them out. Take, you know, castles on all the hills to take advantage of these of the abundance of minerals. The golds and stones are spread out across the map in piles of 3.
Yeah, I'm just highlighting some of the really good hills that could be, you know, good castle locations here for Liereyy. And especially, like, if you fall behind in a Treb war, it can just completely snowball out of control. The Trebs, you know, have to move around 10 feet to get to the next castle. Whereas if the castles are all spread out, you can at least make sure that it's going to take some time for your opponent to potentially snipe them. But here we go, Trebuchets is starting to work away at this castle of Yo's. It is 2 Trebuchets against 0, as Yo is not even 2/3 of the way to Imperial Age.
Yeah, so Yo just has to repair for the time being. He does have a lot of stone in the bank, so he can afford to do this. The question is, though, how does he catch up in Vils? How does he catch up in Mangadai numbers now? Because, yeah, I mean, the Mangadai are fairly even. However, the Trebs from Liereyy will be able to, you know, allow him to push into these castles, and that's the production from Yo.
And Leary's, of course, going to be getting conscription. He's going to have the better upgrades. And the thing is, in the Mongol Mirror, there's just almost no way you can ever come back if you're behind like this, because he's going to lose this castle. And, you know, Leary's going to push up. More archery ranges coming in. I guess Yo's just going to try and add in some desperation skirmishers, but without +4 defense, they're really underwhelming versus Mangadai.
Yeah, they died to Manganel. Mangadai, I keep saying Manganel.
They died to Manganels as well.
True, yeah, I meant that actually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned, scrims are not really an option to help come back here. I mean, they could help, but long term, they're not very efficient. We'll see what Yo's able to do to, like hold Liereyy, prevent his Trebs from pushing out. Right now, there's 4 Trebs, and he's not wasting any time here, Liereyy, with pushing in onto the next castle.
Leary's mixing in some skirmishers of his own here, which I actually kind of like, because if you have the resources to spend on them, just completely outmassing your opponent.
Like more production.
Yeah, it's just more units you can make at the same time. And of course the food cost, you know, it's something to spend food on without having to make that full switch into Hussars. And 4 Trebs, that's going to kill the castle really fast. And oh man, Yo is this counterattack from Yo needs to do so much damage.
Yeah, I think he needs to kill like almost 100 Vils to make it even.
Almost 100 Vils.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, it is obviously very far behind. And I don't even think it's economy that Yo needs to kill right now. I think it's Trebs. Because even if he kills Vils from Liereyy, it's not going to stop the Treb push. Yeah. And that is really the danger for Yo. losing the castles, what can you make after that? Skirms, it's not going to be enough, as we already mentioned.
Yeah, like we were saying from the moment one in this game, this matchup's all about Mangudai, and at least as far as like getting into the late game goes. And well, Liereyy had the better economy, got to the more Mangudai numbers more quickly, and yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Yo is supposed to stop this, as Liereyy with the elite upgrade coming in will have full upgrades.
Yeah, really solid stuff from Liereyy. I struggle to find any mistake he made in this late game. Even sending his Mangudai back to take the fight, maybe before elite, it doesn't matter though. Gets a really good trade there, and now has pretty much no threat.
Yeah, like there is very little that Liereyy has to worry about at this point. He is going to be losing a town center in the north to Yo, but town centers are nowhere near as important as castles, and his 4 trebs are sieging on up, and yeah, it's...
I have to criticize Liereyy one more time. I think the biggest mistake he made in Imperial Age, I just said he didn't make that many, but he's not really spreading it on the map. He's letting Yo take that stone in the south of the map. He's letting Yo get away with way too much, and I feel like Liereyy is in a position where he can deny all that very easily, just by spreading out a couple Mangudai across the map.
Like, if you think back to game 1 and how Yo was just completely strangling Liereyy with like getting every resource and like closing in every single angle, Liereyy is kind of like this big wrecking ball that's just like coming in at one angle, like destroying a castle and then moving in the complete opposite direction. And it is potentially buying Yo some time and giving him access to some extra resources he might, or he perhaps shouldn't have. But the castle advantage and potential Mangudai numbers are just so heavily in favor of our red player here. Now he's going to start the Hussar switch as well.
Yeah, we're seeing 2 castles from Yo. Actually, the Hussar switch, probably unnecessary. Like, just go full Mangudai. I think that might be better. Maybe even Onager would be decent, believe it or not. I feel like Onager Mangudai is the best Mongol composition if you have the gold for it. Well, we'll see. I think he's just in a great position nonetheless. We'll snipe the 3 traps from Yo if this fight goes well. In fact, you guys have already passed that. Never mind.
Yo doing a little bit of skirm raiding here at the south, but to what end, right? What's the actual way you come back here if you're Yo? And I think you were dead on that the important thing he needed to kill was the trebuchets, and he chose to try and kill some villagers, and it wasn't even successful because he's still 20 behind. And
yeah. I mean, to be fair to Yo, like at no point could he really have sniped those traps cost effectively. I know Mangudai can just run in and snipe them, but without the elite, they still take a couple volleys, and I don't know if he had the time to run in there and snipe the traps at any point in this game. I think it just credit to Liereyy. He played really well in pretty much throughout the entire game. It's not over though. Mr. Yo is still fighting, getting more castles down on the hills. Let's see if he can do anything to come back this game.
I believe he has full upgrades himself on the Mangudai. Yes, he does. But it's 40 military to 15. And it's a matter of castle numbers. Yeah, I don't have my castle hotkey because not my computer, but...
Okay, I got you. I'm a co-caster. We got 3 from Liereyy at least.
He only has 2?
Only 3 from Liereyy. He's kind of
I feel like he should have more than that.
Yeah, I feel like he should have way more than that, and they're all in the same spot, so... well, you know what? There's going to be enough here, but Yo isn't doing that bad in terms of cast production.
He's trying to get... Oh, no. Oh, no. DauT!
DauT once again, actually.
Yeah. DauT part 2.
This is not going up.
Nope.
This is truly DauT.
Yep.
We're going to see the Nili grass DauTs in the chat.
Achievement unlocked. Castle of DauT.
Yeah, what is that? 83%? I mean, not the typical DauT castle, and usually that's 95 plus, but definitely going to be a lot of those lost. Yo's still hanging in there. I really respect the tournament fighting style that they have. Liereyy is still pushing down with castles. Does he know you don't have to build the castles in a line?
It's like to build a castle, it must be within a certain amount of tiles of the other castle.
It has to be like straight.
Yeah.
Like, I respect that though. He's pushing down the middle. He knows what he wants, and he's just taking it down every castle from Yo. I mean, it's a working method. I'm not going to critique it too much here.
It's almost like it's like arena style, but yeah, game has been over. When did this game really end? Like, when did Yo get into a position where he just could not come back?
Good question. I think it was.
Late feudal age?
Because I don't want to say he couldn't come back from there.
But like, assuming that everything else played out the way it would.
I feel like the critical moment then was late feudal age with that hole. Liereyy was able to get in there, do some damage, and just delaying Yo by like 30, 35 seconds was actually enough to snowball into the rest of this game as we saw it play out. A fantastic play from Liereyy. I didn't think Mr. Yo played like poorly or anything. I just think that Liereyy played better and made the right decisions at the right moments.
Yeah, and that's definitely been a critical factor in all of the games so far. And Liereyy showing some fighting chance in this series. Not going to be going down 0-4 because that would not be too fun. And we got a series on our hands here, Hera.
KD is actually relatively even here. Pretty much an average of 160
It's
for
the
units
economy.
killed in death. Yeah, the economy from Liereyy. And we talked about this, adding in the TCs early. Like, just a few seconds earlier with the TCs, snowballs into like 6k more food, 3k more wood, k more gold. It's just crazy how small advantages early game ends up snowballing at the end of the game.
Yeah, and just incredibly good play there from Liereyy. Not getting too razzled by going down 0-2.
Yeah.
And he's looking good here. Should be getting into game number 4.
Yeah, so I just want to take a quick look at this timeline here as Castlage. Overly guy, just relax, man. Give us some time. Why the rush? Why the rush? So again, once again, the timeline here, Castlage, take a look at how Yo wanted to go for the Mega Die transition. Doesn't have a lot of military, again, is noted by the dark blue right there. Whereas Liereyy was going for the crossbows, big spike in early castle with the military, and then it ended up dying down as he made the Mega Die switch in Imperial Age. So the quick, I guess, difference in strategy is really showed with this timeline. Overly guy, do your thing.
And they are already in the game lobby, so we will be getting into game number 4 in just a second.
Gonna quickly take off my sweater. Shout out to Nili for it, though.
Oh boy.
What do you want me to do? Okay, thank you. Different angle.
LOL. This is how we hit 20k viewers.
Why are you making it awkward for me, man?
Because that's what casters do. Okay, we're getting into the next game here. Freaking Kez boards.
That was supposed to be a really clean transition, and now I'm all red. Over the guy smiling. Oh my god. Okay.
And
Toss that over there.
Kobe.
Land on the floor as well.
Good enough. We are getting into game number 4 here, guys, on Serengeti.
Dad is trolling as well.
First home map of Yo. Liereyy taking his first win this series, but Yo will be our blue Inca player here to the south of the map as we hear the lovely pan flute music.
Okay, so Mezzo from Liereyy. Nice.
Will be our red Aztecs here to the north of the map on what is potentially the most aggressive map in this map pool.
Yeah, I mean, Incas versus Aztecs, this is a classic matchup in my opinion. Not an old matchup per se, but something I've seen quite a bit in World of Kingdom since it came out. What do you think is the better civ, and what do you think is the strength and weakness of each civ here going into this matchup?
So it is pretty interesting, right? Because both are obviously American civs. Aztecs, to me, they have the better economy, and they have the better Eagle Warriors, but it can be a bit tricky as far as going for all the counters that Incas have. We can actually bring up the civs here.
Oh,
Hopefully overlay got good.
all right, fantastic. Yeah, I just had a little problem with the mic. As you see the bonuses here, Incas start with the free llama. Not that important. The big one, though, if villages affected by blacksmith upgrades, I think that's the one that could affect the game the most, or it could be completely useless throughout.
Yeah.
We'll see if he ends up going for a tower rush with vills. Buildings cost minus 15% stone, another bonus for the tower rush, and then the houses support 10 population. A lot of small early game bonuses here. What do you think about the Aztecs as well now?
So Aztecs, villagers carry +5. We have seen them, I believe, earlier on in the series. Military units creating faster, monks with extra hit points, and then the extra gold that you start with and generate from relics. So both civilizations very much geared towards the earlier game, but you can see that the Aztec bonuses I just feel are overall a bit more impactful. And I feel like they have the momentum that they could need going for a big play here. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, so honestly, I feel like Aztecs with a stronger economy should have no problems in this matchup, except one. I feel like Incas in early game with men-at-arm towers, that can actually be potentially very dangerous. And also, a second thing worth mentioning, Incas do get slingers, which is a range unit that gets an attack bonus versus infantry, similar to the hand cannon. However, it is available in the Castle Age. Very important in this particular matchup because eagles are a big part of it.
Eagles are definitely a big part of it, and as far as I've seen in all the games I've cast of this matchup, Eagle plus Slinger beats pure Eagle.
Yes.
Like, pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Slingers are very good. They did get nerfed with DE coming out, but are still incredibly strong. They have +10 bonus damage, in case you guys didn't know, against infantry.
Take a look at Yo. 2 on wood. What does this tell you?
What?
He's just talking to me.
Oh, okay.
So, 2 on wood, actually, that signifies a tower rush from Inca player. Very deadly, in my opinion, if Liereyy does not scout this.
It can be very deadly, but in terms of who is going to be in a strong position to defend against an early tower rush, Aztecs, you have to imagine, are going to be one of the best civs at doing it. You're almost always going for some sort of aggressive opening, and aggressive openings, ironically, are pretty good defensively if your opponent's trying to go for like an even more aggressive opening. So we'll have to see here. 4 on wood, though, for our Aztec player, Liereyy. Makes plenty of sense. Looks like Yo is going to be absconding with a goat, though. Okay, it's the Hera's having, you know, he needs some help from Overlay Guy. It happens to the best of us. Yo, did he have to go for an early loom? No, why is Yo a villager behind? Looks like he had some idle time or something. Now he's getting loom. He's on 18 pop right now. This is going to be really fast because he's definitely going to click up to Feudal Age. He's just going to garrison these vills, get up to the Feudal Age. Boom, 500 food right there, and that is an 18 pop up time.
Oof, I'm back. Perfect timing here. 18 pop up. How many vills forward? Like, I want to see like 8.
Like this should be like full Teuton, like YOLO towers.
He has to go all in here. I also want to see him get Wheelbarrow at the start of Feudal Age. Wheelbarrow, what it does, although it's an economy bonus, it does make your vills move faster, which is a military bonus if you're attacking with them.
Yeah, no, that's why I say that Berbers have a pretty good tower rush, because they have the faster move speed. It's the same amount as Wheelbarrow. And it can be useful. And of course, there's the blacksmith upgrades we have to consider, because villagers being affected by that, as we saw earlier. And what is Liereyy doing? It looks like Lierey's going totally standard stuff. Going to be likely clicking up on this 22 population.
Very important. Let's go to Lierey's perspective here, and let's see if he's able to scout this tower rush, because this tower rush, if not scouted, can be very deadly here.
It can totally be quite deadly. Let's actually go to his POV.
Yeah, so is it 1 or 2?
It is 2.
2. Fantastic. All right. So Lierey's point of view here, I don't think he scouted it so far. There is 8 vills, or sorry, 7 vills and an eagle moving across the map now for Yo. Liereyy, he should scout it now with his eagle, actually.
Liereyy. Well, Lierey's eagle is in his opponent's base. He's going to see that his opponent won't have anything at home, and we'll just have very few villagers in general.
All right, let's go back to the regular game here, and we'll see just what the progress Yo made here with the villagers on the front here. Remember, Liereyy just clicked up. He cannot respond to the defensive tower, so Yo has pretty much free reign of his base right now.
Oh, what is Liereyy doing, though? Wait, was that a misclick? He had like 12 villagers that were going to the left for a second there.
Maybe he double-clicked his economy, or maybe he thought about going forward, ended up pulling back. Really weird stuff. He will see the towers come up now on his woodland, though. Yeah, Blacksmith is complete for Yo as well, though. So this game is getting right down in the mud very quickly. And a villager, oh, beautiful save there from Liereyy. Actually, it probably wasn't even necessary, but still. Style moves indeed. Well played. It runs away from the woodlines. At the very least, that tower is kicking away Liereyy from his only woodline, mind you. So this is actually a pretty big move from Yo. Now moving in. Why is there so many farms from Liereyy? That means he's almost certainly not... Yeah, he can't afford an archery range or anything like that, which is going to be something that he would really want in this situation. Is going over to the stone right now himself, but, well... This is so weird from Liereyy. He went up 23 pop, and he made a lot of farms. It's like he wanted a really strong economy, but... On this map? Yeah, I feel not like, versus this Civ. Yeah, I feel like he should have read the Civ matchup a little bit better here. He's reacting very nicely here. I mean, deleting 3 farms always hurts, but at the same time, he hasn't really lost any villas so far, which is a big deal. Yeah, but we already have the +1 defense in here for Mr. Yo. He's coming forward. He's ready for a fight with these villagers. And where are the men-at-arms? Oh, the militia. They're trying to go across the map, but that... you need them at home right now. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best decision to go aggressive, though. Liereyy is getting a defensive tower. Yo is trying to fight. Keep in mind, these villas from Yo do have 1 extra armor, so they only take 1 damage from any of the villagers. Quite a big bonus there for him. Yeah, but Lierey's going to get the defensive tower. We'll protect his stone, at least in the short run. And Yo's going to just wall in the tower and probably rotate a bit to the north, but this has been a pretty good defense so far from Liereyy. And now he's able to send his militia across the map. Yeah, the question now from Yo, what is he going to go, like, tower? What's his next target? I imagine he wants to loop around to the wood. However, I feel like if Liereyy reacts properly, he should be able to get a defensive tower right when Yo loops around. Yo is doing a sneaky build, though, over onto the stone. I don't know if you see that one. Yeah, so he's going to do kind of like a double tower attack, I feel like. And Town Watch kicking in from Liereyy. I think that's a really smart choice. Will he see the tower coming in, checking his fog war? Oh, it's 1 tile. That's so unlucky, bro. He even got Town Watch. Game, come on. Let it slip. Like, that is really unlucky. Yeah. Even though Liereyy prepared for it. It happens.
I mean, it's a matter of just where you position the tower, and Yo positioning it perfectly. A little bit of a villager fight here. There is an eagle in the mix. It also benefits from the extra infantry armor upgrade, obviously. And I think that means Yo should win this, right?
Yeah, you already killed one villager. I think a second one might go down there. The eagle mixed in there for Yo allows him to really like trap villagers and maybe even chase them down. It is getting to low HP here. This is a really interesting fight.
Yeah, it's a villager fight, but it's not like one that's perfectly even, like you know all the other villager fights are, more or less. And that is 2 villagers down for 1 eagle warrior. There's another eagle here for Liereyy, but that's going to just get completely punched down by these villagers. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And but it will buy time for this defensive tower to come up for Liereyy.
But the problem is, again, this defensive tower, I like it because it's preemptive and it's defending the wood line. Yo is just gonna wrap around, and he's gonna get a tower on the other side of the wood, and it's still gonna deny the wood. Obviously, the tower came down on the stone. That's gonna be harassing Lierey's stone. It feels like this is working out for.
Oh, Yo didn't get the quick balls in that he needed to. Villager's just gonna punch down this tower like instantly.
That's a big mistake actually from Yo. I feel like if he got the quick walls down, he would have been in a fantastic position. He's still, I think, in a good position, but obviously a bit of a misstep right there.
Yeah, definitely. And Yo, I mean, look at the kill death ratio. It's 5-1. Villager count is even, but I mean. Yo's certainly been taking the better engagement so far. Oh, that tower's out of range.
Oh, but look at this. Yo is sending 5 more vills forward. This is so all in. Like he doesn't care about his home. I think the next step is to get fletching. He can't afford it actually if he cancels a villager. Yo is going all in here.
Oh yeah, I mean, living up to the old AoE2 mantra, if at first you don't succeed, tower, tower again. And that is exactly what Yo's doing. But now Lierey's coming forward with villagers.
Lierey's going forward.
They're going to miss each other.
Yo, freeze that villager. Is going to continue towering here. Remember, Liereyy does have Town Watch, so he's going to be able to easily spot Yo as he moves in for this next tower. Do you think it's a good decision from Liereyy to tower rush his opponents, or is this getting a bit too over-ambitious and won't actually amount to anything?
I mean, even if it does amount to something, I do like Yo milling this huge patch of zebra to the left, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That's just a nice little move.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing here for Liereyy is to just not die, because you know your opponent's super all in, right? He got up so early and went forward with so many villagers that if you just not die, then you should be fine. So I don't think you need to go forward, and just should make sure you don't, die. And there's another villager down.
Yeah, obviously easier said than done here. The counterattack could provide some sort of counterplay though, make it a bit harder for Yo to play. 1-for-1 on the front there. Yo will lose that tower, but now there's a big engagement on Yo's deer patch here. Which it looks like Liereyy can actually win, but I'm not a fan of fighting vills versus vills if you're up against Incas.
Yeah, definitely. Notably, Yo never got the forging upgrade, so the villagers are still only dealing the 3 damage base, and there's a villager kill for Liereyy.
Double agent man villager. So that's he literally bumped a woman back into the army. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be on his mental for the rest of the
but this tower coming up from Yo on the left-hand side, he does have fletching. He did get that upgrade. That's gonna be so annoying. Liereyy has 2 villagers on wood right now, and the lumber camp is in critical danger of being towered.
Yeah, like he's just forced to relocate his wood lines. I do want to see him YOLO on the right side though. Take a look at those 2 towers very quickly from Yo on the right. They're actually unprotected. He can batter both of them down. Liereyy, I hope he goes for that play.
He's going for the lumber camp in the back.
I think that's a misplay. I think he should have went battered the towers and taken that other wood line they already had lumber on.
Oh, Lierey's going for the defensive tower himself. Why not just go forward and, kill the... I guess he thought his opponent would quick wall in time.
The quick wall potential at this level is too high. You really want to get the defensive tower before making engagement. But the villas from Liereyy coming back, or coming out from the back, he's going to deny the tower. Isn't going to get too much else though.
At least for the meantime, he's going to be somewhat safe with wood income. And look at the villager discrepancy now. It is 5 in favor of Liereyy, 4 in favor of Liereyy.
Wait, does Yo have wheelbarrow though? That is the question here. I'll take a look.
Well, while Hera checks that, just making some more houses, gonna make some more towers. Liereyy doesn't have anybody on gold right now.
Wheelbarrow is in for Yo, so that vill count is actually lying. Liereyy is in reality here only 1.5 vills up, maybe 2 on a good day. Archery range from Liereyy, I don't know about that transition. I mean, I don't mind it. It is a good option versus Inca villagers. However, he doesn't really have a lot of gold to take.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is Liereyy isn't on gold right now, so it means he's making skirmishers, and skirmishers are not very scary against Inca villagers.
Or it means he's taking gold in the center of the map as he's moving 5 vills right there. Very exposed though. Like this might not last for long.
Well, it depends on if Yo scouts it, and Yo doesn't have an army to send, every which way to make sure that his opponent isn't out on the map. So looking at Yo's POV, I don't think he'll ever see the gold, at least not in the near future. So I think that's a great move from Liereyy.
That's actually a good point. That like with the Vil Rush, sure you have a really powerful like attack, but when it comes to like expanding the map and scouting, you don't really have that many options. Very slow moving, Vils don't have a lot of line of sight. It definitely makes sense for Yo to expand like that on take extra gold. Who's going to be faster to castle? I think both of them have similar resources at this point. I do like fancy Aztec economy a little bit more, actually a lot more, especially with wheelbarrow kicking in now. Lierey's still up 2 Vils.
Yeah, definitely. Yo actually is now mining gold at his opponent's base all the way over here. The thing is, if Castle Age comes in and these towers are upgraded to guard towers, that could be an even scarier proposition. As look at this, another tower coming over here for Mr. Yo. Liereyy, though, has his own tower on the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Liereyy decided to tower that. I actually don't see the purpose of it. Yo's tower wasn't doing a whole lot there. It was denying at most 1 farm. I don't know. Like, it's not the end of the world with that decision. I just think that Liereyy might not have needed that tower. We'll see how it plays out, though.
Yep, tower is complete for both players, as you might expect, and the tower war has begun. At home, Yo is getting the market to go along with his blacksmith, and he's about ready to click up, but so is Liereyy, really benefiting from these 5 sneak fills on the gold.
Actually, after all, I'm not really a huge fan of the archers. I mean, I do see the point of it. You're going to be able to sneak some archers over to your opponent's base before cast stage kicks in. Might get a few Vils picked off. However, there is already armor in for Yo. He could easily add in some eagles to deal with a couple archers in Feudal Age. So, I don't know. I'm really a fan of Yo's position as he gets cast stage and gets the eagles out nice and early.
I do like this defensive tower, though, for Liereyy. He is going to be having that up way before Yo's tower is done, so I think it should be able to deny it. And that means that Leary's going to have all of his resources safe that he needs. He's actually going to mine out this stone pretty soon. Only has 300 left on that.
I think that's enough. He only needed it for the towers in Feudal Age, of course. Yo is up to Castle Age a little bit faster than Liereyy. Liereyy should be up in the next few seconds, though. And he is sneaking around the side with 3 archers, though. No fletching is in.
Yep. I think he... Oh! He put that blacksmith foundation down a long time ago. I don't know why it was just started right then. So that's a little weird. But 3 archers coming in, they're going to be dealing 1 damage before fletching to these villagers.
Oh, and he's missing the blacksmith, so he can't even click up to the castle age. He's being delayed so much here. 30% already in for Yo. I don't know, man. Yo is looking more and more like in the lead in this position or in this game. These 3 archers from Liereyy have potential, though.
They have some potential, but like I said, they do 1 damage to villagers.
Oh yeah, true. They have 1 armor as well on top of that.
Yeah, so now Lierey's the one who's going to be getting the infantry armor upgrade. Both players going to be going for the Eagle Warriors. Actually, Yo was able to take down the tower of Liereyy. There is 1 behind it, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. So do you think it's just going to be pure Eagle Warriors for both of these players?
I think the opening will be Eagle Warrior for both players, but I think Incas might want to transition into Slingers at one point. I'm not really sure when to make that transition. I'm not actually experienced in this matchup that much myself. However, I feel like it's an option that could catch Liereyy off guard, or at least, you know, Yo could consider it as the game goes on. Definitely Eagles to open, though.
More and more villagers coming forward here for Yo. I think some of those were the zebra hunters, but we'll have to see what they're going to be used for. But that blacksmith being delayed for so long, I'm not really sure why. I thought I saw the foundation placed way sooner.
Maybe he canceled it. I wasn't sure. I wasn't really paying attention to that myself. He is 2 barracks and he is up to castle age, so 2 barrack eagles is going to be the play. It must be noted though that Liereyy doesn't have that many gold miners, only 8, whereas Yo can have as many as he wants. He's actually got what is that, almost 9 at his opponent's base now.
Yeah, well, gold is of course going to be such an important resource for both of these players. Eagles now coming out here from Liereyy. They will benefit from the faster creation speed of Aztecs, which is going to be super important when you're just both massing the same exact unit. Also, upgrades are a little bit better. Yo just now coming in with the forging upgrade, but now with the Eagle Warrior upgrade in, that's going to be back into Yo's favor. But Lierey's going to try and swamp his opponent. He has 10 military to 3. And
like you mentioned with the Aztec production speed, he could actually just outmass Liereyy Yo entirely, but Yo does get up that 3rd barracks to kind of mitigate that advantage. 2nd TC is being dropped down for Yo. Yo has to be careful, there's a lot of eagles right there.
There are a lot of eagles right there. 3rd barracks on the way for Liereyy as well. Some quick walls are coming in for our blue player Yo. Those are going to be quite nice. Going to need some on the other side as well, obviously. The archers that...
Oh, those archers actually clutch. They're going to be able to snipe the Vils off the TC. That's actually so random, but so good.
How? They deal 1 damage.
Bro, it's the thought that counts, alright? Let me have my moment. Yeah, good point. Only 1 damage there. I kind of forgot about that Inca bonus. Archers, verdict is that they are useless. But look at the gold! Lierey's losing the gold on the front. We talked about how exposed that was. And as soon as the military units from Yo came out...
Oh, right here, yeah.
Big damage right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, like we were saying, if the villagers can't really see anything but the eagles, in addition to being a strong raiding unit, they have a great line of sight. They're your scout, so you can really easily just, you know, fan out. You see your opponent's making a lot of eagle warriors. You think you're denying most of their gold income. Makes you wonder, hey, how are they able to afford all these eagle warriors? And makes you want to look out on the map. Upgrades, I believe, are actually no, +2 defense is in here as well here for Liereyy, so he does have the slight upgrade lead, but Yo, a good 8 villagers ahead right now.
Yeah, the only thing Yo has to worry about at the moment now is, I think, just taking counter damage. If he's able to hold the next couple minutes, maybe even transition into slingers, I feel like with his map control, with the towers as well, he should be in a really good spot moving into this mid game.
Yeah, Liereyy has his own second TC on the way, but actually Yo's one-upping that further, has his third town center on the way. So yeah, I mean, look at the kill-death ratio, 19-5 in favor of Yo. He's just been taking so great of engagements.
All of the eagles on the right side as well. There's plenty of eagles or eagle fights happening all over the map here. Raidings happening, fights eagle on eagle. We haven't seen the slinger transition yet, and I don't think we're going to see them see one in the near future. Looks like you know, Yo just wants to stick with the ink and eagle warriors. I don't know, I just struggle to see Liereyy coming out of this position. The map is just so in favor of Yo.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily because Liereyy has like an amazing map or a poor map. It's just because Yo has done such a good job of taking map control with these towers, just completely, you know, ringing his opponent's base, at least for some amount of time before Liereyy is getting some of those towers down. Still, though, military numbers are slightly in favor of Liereyy, and the upgrades as well. So he still needs to be a little bit careful, but now getting his own +2 defense.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look a little bit around the map here. So free TC from Yo. Can he go for guard tower? I feel like it could be an option. He has so many towers that I feel like it might be worth it. Like, he already has fletching invested. I don't know. What do you think about guard tower here for Yo? I think it's okay.
I think it's good. It solidifies the towers from ever just being sniped by some eagle warriors.
Yeah.
And it sort of ensures you that you have a great place to drop a forward castle.
Yeah, at this point, you're not really trying to save up for imp or anything like that. There's not really a pressing upgrade that you need. Guard tower could be something we could see in the near future. Obviously, university is missing. Archery range for Yo.
Yep.
Slinger transition is started before the guard towers. I really like this, as actually Liereyy is sending 4 eagles to raid on the bottom. It'll be very hard to keep up with all these raids here.
Forward TC here in the middle of the map here for Liereyy. Doesn't have that many eagle warriors nearby. Now the upgrades are even. I think the numbers are in favor of Mr. Yo, however, also trying to snipe these villagers. Well,
Go for vills.
Yeah.
Just go for vills. Right? Like, go kill 4 vills, run away, maybe lose a couple of eagles. It doesn't really matter. At this point, Yo should just go kill vills and then run back home and make a slinger transition, and he'll deal with all the numbers from Liereyy.
Look at this eco discrepancy. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger in favor of Yo. 68-44.
Oh my God, 24 vills now apart. Slingers are out. Remember, you do have to upgrade them like a crossbow, so bodkin arrow is needed on them. Liereyy is trying to get some counter harass with 4 eagles at the back of Yo's base. Yo easily defends, not even a problem there.
Yeah, I think that actually, because you need to get the upgrades for the slingers at the archery range, or the archer upgrades rather, it even more justifies guard tower. But look at this. This is a lot of eagle warriors. Numbers are in favor of Liereyy with the power of that Aztec production speed.
Can we go for a double point of view here, as there's so much going on in the game here? Let's take a look at the double point of view of these two players. Remember, there's just so much going on across all the maps here, and we're going to see how the players, you know, deal with keeping up with all this pressure.
Yeah, multitasking going to be so important for these players. Yo starting to defend at the front. Of course, any archer unit is going to be quite good defensively, but he's also trying to go for the raid counterattack. And the idle discrepancy is actually 23 for Yo, only 10 for Liereyy, but that's just because Yo has so many more villagers. And you can see both players just trying their best to not die.
Larry doesn't have 23 vills to idle. Like,
yeah, seriously.
He's very far behind here. 47 vills total. He does have more military, but at this stage, I feel like the military isn't that big of a deal, as Yo does have the counter unit out. Let's transition back to the main screen here, as OrnLu can take over.
And we are back. Liereyy with some nice little palisade walls. Yeah, that's not going to be down anytime soon. And I think Yo's doing a really nice job defending. He hasn't lost that many villagers. Yeah, he's had idle time, but it's not the end of the world. And what's important is he's not getting his slingers picked off one by one, because he only has the 1 archery range. So it's really important that he just is slowly but steadily massing these guys up.
Yeah, I will mention, it is worth mentioning here that Slingers don't move nearly as fast as the Eagles. So you know what, even though they deal the damage, if they're not actually able to get in there and actually shoot the Eagles, if the Eagles are running away, Slingers won't do anything. So Liereyy, his best bet now is to raid around, maybe get a Monastery, heal up his Eagles, pick up relics. Maybe he can pull this back with some crazy Eagle play here.
He's going to need to because he's now 30 villagers behind and only 3 military ahead. He's trying to get a 4th town center, but I feel like that's just not the way to come back into this game. Like the 4th TC is it's one step above a farm TC. There's like a few trees here and that's it.
I mean, at this point, Lierey's just trying to get some like way back in the game, but he's now 1,000 score behind. Like you said, the 4th TC isn't really paying that much back for him. And Lierey's still, like Liereyy, I shouldn't say Liereyy is still full exposed at home. Eagles from Yo is constantly raiding him. He hasn't really had a break this game.
No, and that's just, I think, the nature of Serengeti. It's such an aggressive map, you never are going to be feeling too terribly safe. And with all of these forward towers from Yo, it means he's always going to have a good angle in which to attack. He knows that Liereyy can't really be too well defended right when the towers are, and that is going to be the GG, guys. Game number 4, going to Mr. Yo.
3-1 down for Liereyy. That was an entertaining game, though. We talked about this matchup, how Aztecs are literally better in every single way over Incas, except for the 2 things: Slingers and early game towers, you know, as far as like early game stuff goes. And I feel like that's exactly what Yo played with. The Vills early game, towering, getting the position, transitioning into Eagles, and then finally into the Slingers to end the game with his economy lead. What do you think of that one, Mr. OrnLu?
That was a really, really interesting game. I mean, when you're in a big tournament match, you just lost a game, to say, okay, I'm going to go 18 pop-up, send 6 villagers forward, and just YOLO. And it worked.
Yeah, like it seems so risky, but I feel like Yo prepared this, or at least thought about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You can... Yo knew how to do the rotations with the towers. I think that was really good. Because it's not like he just killed Liereyy with the towers. What Yo did, he took an advantage with the towers, especially as far as map control goes, and was able to boom behind it, which... is pretty impressive, and that kill-death ratio, 73 killed to 33 lost.
Yeah, that's a really good point you pointed out there, is like, he didn't end the game with the towers, he just got a map control advantage, maybe even a couple pop as well, but really just set him up for late game and ended up, you know, cleaning house in Castle Edge. Quickly go through the stats there, they are launching the next game here. As far as the timeline goes, take a look at where Yo's military starts. He made like nothing up to Castle Edge. It was just Vills.
Yeah.
It was literally just Vills, maybe a couple Eagles, and yeah, that's pretty much it here for the timeline. Nothing much else to say. And over the guy's going crazy for some reason.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Okay, so hopefully everything is good as far as the stream goes. So I think they're not quite into the next game yet, but they will be there shortly. They are in the lobby. It will be Lierey's home map. Remember, guys, this is match point. If Yo wins this, he's going to face ViPer in the semifinals.
And Liereyy will be out of the tournament. A couple people saying Liereyy will be, they will be sad if Liereyy goes out. Can we get some Nili energies in the chat? Just trying to hype up Liereyy. Maybe he can get the comeback in. It's not over, and you know what? These maps are coming up. I feel like Liereyy can actually come back. Like, these are 2 open maps with Golden Pit and Valley, and then Cross, which Liereyy has a lot of experience on.
Yeah, I think it... And Lierey's a player who can make the comeback happen.
Yeah.
He's not someone to completely fall apart if he's behind. And, you know, looking at these players right now, Yo's just, you know, thinking about how he wants to finish this off. But Liereyy looks maybe a little bit flustered, but not... He's certainly very focused still.
Honestly, if there's one word to describe Liereyy, it would be chill. Like, I feel like even though he might look a little bit out of it, he's really composed mentally. I feel like, at least from talking to him. And so if there's one person to keep a cool mind in this place, I feel like it could be Liereyy. At least one of the top 3 in this position. And hopefully he just keeps his head in the game. We'll see. Hope, you know, might get to 7 games. Who knows?
Yeah, certainly a possibility. And so this is 100% going to be Valley, right? Yeah. So what do you think we'll be seeing here on Valley without Mongols as that civ is banned?
Yeah, so no Mongols banned and already used. I feel like...
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, this is more of like an Arabic clone. I think probably Chinese. For Liereyy, you have to go Chinese. Maybe saving... Maybe going Mayans as well. Those are his 2 civs remaining that are top tier. Golden Pit, I think he wants to pick Britons. And then Cross, you want to pick Persians or Japanese.
Yeah, I think that makes plenty of sense. Cross, it's a hybrid map. You pick Persians or Japanese. And on... Overlay guy says the game has started, but that monitor was not saying that for a second. Okay, here we go.
I'm pretty sure I see a Chinese start already for Liereyy. Yeah, Byzantines versus Chinese. Yo going for Byzantines? That's a weird one. We saw Max pick it against me. Didn't work out so well, but I did have the Aztec counter pick there. This time, Byzantines versus Chinese. What do you think about this matchup, OrnLu?
This is an interesting one. These are like two of the most sort of defensive, like late game oriented civs with the broadest tech trees. So we really could be seeing a ton of different options here. We will have Mr. Yo as the blue Byzantine player to the east of the map of Valley, and to the west in the red as the Chinese will be Liereyy, his tournament life on the line.
Yeah, already, you know, his do or die in the series, 3-1 down. Yo is up. And we talked about late game already here, but the players are very close on the map here. Liereyy is like, what is that, like a couple screens away from Yo. The middle of the map has plenty of zebra separating them. I feel like we might see an aggressive play here.
I think especially with Byzantines, right? They are a defensive civ, but that can very easily become aggressive with the extra HP on the towers, the cheap trash.
What makes a Byzantine a defensive civ? Let's take a look
here
and
there
see
you go.
The civs. Can I click it? Overlay guy. Come on, man. What? I'm clicking it.
Oh,
there we go.
We go.
I knew it was going to work all along there. Byzantines buildings have more HP, cheaper spearmen and skirmishers and camels. I think that's their main bonus here on land maps. 5 ships pretty irrelevant. And advancing Imperial Age is actually a pretty good one. Obviously 33% cheaper.
Yep, and Town Watch Free is just nice, helpful, and defensively. Monks healing faster doesn't usually matter too much. Chinese, of course, their very much defining bonus is their start. You start with 3 more villagers, but less resources. There's actually a little bit of a scout fight going on right here, so we'll have to hold the thought on Chinese.
Wait, is Liereyy going to risk it? Okay, no, he sends a villager here to secure it. Well played. I thought, is he going to risk it in a do-or-die game? Probably not the best choice.
And actually, with the villager coming in, Yo will be forced to retreat.
Yeah.
But continuing with Chinese, they start with the extra villagers. It is overall, even with the less resources, it's a big eco boost in the long run, even I think luring a zebra right away. And then of course you have the cheaper upgrades and extra farm food. And of course the big thing with them is their Chuko unique unit.
So big tech tree options as well for both players or both civs. I think one of the big strategies for Byzantines, since they are so close, is maybe even a forward skirm spear with towers. I mean, it's making use of their cheaper trash units, it's making use of their free town watch as well, and their higher HP buildings, because obviously towers benefit from that. Could be something we'll see in this game, although I think Byzantines playing defensively does play into their strengths as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I like Byzantines so much, is they just have so many options. And I feel like the Byzantines are a civ that just have so few bad matchups, as you can usually find something to do against your opponent every time. Overlay guy is
not happy with me. That's
he's yeah, that's pretty feels bad, man.
Bro, like I'm too tall for the setup. I swear. Like my feet keep going away. I don't even know where they're going. In any case, though, yeah. So it looks like just both players scouting out the map. Interesting that Mr. Yo is not opting for their deer, actually going for the scouting. It could be a minor indication of a tower rush, because he wants to know what Lierey's map looks like early on.
3 on wood as well. That is not too common with Byzantines. Usually 3 on wood says scout rush, and that's like the one opening Byzantines don't do. Also, Yo is really riding the struggle bus with taking this rhino. Yo, oh, feels bad, man.
I mean, it's better than losing a vill here. Liereyy can attest to that one.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, it does end up bringing that rhino in. Liereyy has a woman villager just running around here. Kind of go for a stroll. Not sure what she's up to.
Has he not found a second elephant? Because that would not be good.
Well, he knows about it.
No, he
it was hiding.
It was hiding in like the 3-tile gap. That sneaky elephant.
Is he gonna lose a vill now? I hope not. You'll see in a second that the vill will get stuck. I was a bit in the future there. He has loom. He should be fine.
Of course, Chinese is going to have loom 100% of the time because you don't start with any food. If he didn't have loom, that villager would be super dead.
Yeah, it's really ugly to think about it. Barracks instantly coming down from Liereyy. Is this going to be a drush, or is this going to be a setup for men-at-arms?
Neither play is super common with Chinese. He did lure the zebra, and the elephant/rhino do have extra food on them, so you know it helps mitigate the fact that Chinese don't have the food they'd want for early swordsmen. But I mean, it's a play that makes sense on this map, right? Because they're so close together, and it's the acacia trees.
Yeah, I do agree. Good point with the trees as well. I'm not sure if we talked about that too much throughout the series, but basically, I don't know how to pronounce it, acacia trees. They do have like holes in them, a little bit easier to get in with men-at-arms, a little harder to quick wall around them. Definitely worth mentioning. And Yo, I think he wanted to go forward. He sent 4 vills and ended up just taking strategy. I think he wants to go forward.
Yeah, the scout running by at a perfectly opportune time for Liereyy. Now the villagers are coming forward.
Yeah, he is going forward. He's going to go double lumber camp. We talked about this already. Byzantine's cheaper trash. Like, it pretty much plays into all their bonuses, especially with the tower HP on top of all that.
This is like, it just reminds me of how a lot of Chinese players used to play Hun Wars back in the day. Just all the forwards, spearmen, skirmishers, some towers. And this can kill somebody if they're not prepared. And the thing is, Chinese, even though they are such a powerful civ, they are still a little bit vulnerable in the early feudal age.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned this is more of an older strategy. You don't see it a lot in modern meta because men-at-arms kind of took over the early game. However, if you know, Liereyy gets caught off guard by this, it's not too bad. The thing is, though, the men-at-arm does inherently counter this style, only if Liereyy scouts it, though. And so far,
he's going to do that.
This is like a sixth sense.
Oh, he's 100% going to scout it.
That was well played, actually. Just that, like, either that was pure luck or that was like 200 IQ from Liereyy just to move that militia there. Scouts the forward, and I swear that changes the game entirely, and also chasing the scout. But I think Yo can easily turn around now because he's going to get feudal age faster.
So what do you do in this situation if you're Yo? The swordsmen are coming. You probably don't expect to see men-at-arm play from Chinese all the time. But, I mean, Chinese can do anything now, especially in scenarios where they can get some zebra. And Lierey's actually going to be going forward and taking the hunt. So he's actually making use of this map, which is not something that a lot of people do.
Yeah, I know, and especially when there's a forward on the field, you know, usually you might not think of taking the forward resources. You might think it's a bit risky. However, in this position, it's quite far away from Yo's pressure. It makes a lot of sense. One vill went already down for Yo, and the militia, soon to be men-at-arms, still having a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, men-at-arm upgrade is around halfway done here for Liereyy. I mean, this all just comes down to it being scouted like almost instantly for Liereyy and him going for pretty much the best counter strategy.
Yeah.
And my game crashed, so let's go over to your POV.
All right, fantastic here. So welcome. OrnLu is now the secondary caster here, co-caster. Check if he has wheelbarrow, please. I'm going to start casting this game, though. But yeah, 2 vills already went down if Yo's not careful. Could have lost another vill, but he should be fine. 2 vills still enough to make the forward work. There's obviously a lot of spear and skirmishers out on the field.
So I guess if you can get a tower down, it's going to be really nice. Going to deny the gold. Now that screen is black, so I'm just looking at your monitor now.
Cast on my screen, man. I made a living doing that. So yeah, skirmishers, you know, spearmen, obviously the Byzantine composition in this early game. Defensive skirms from Liereyy, and the play for him is basically just to go a few skirmishers, take out the spearmen, and then look to transition into scouts. Scout skirm is actually better than spear skirm in later feudal age. Obviously, he can't really afford the stable or any scouts at this point. However, I think he should make his way into that composition as fast as possible. Giving up the gold for the time being, however, that doesn't really matter because as we talked about, scouts and skirms don't really need that much of gold. What's going on here? Just the scout still making use of the hunt. I do like that. I kind of wish he milled it, but even without the mill, it's still probably worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually managed to get back in the game somehow, so I am just going to be going on super speed until I catch up. So that was kind of lucky, but for now, we will have Hera's wonderful spectating, and the tower is up.
Fantastic. All right, so good stuff. OrnLu will be fast forwarding here. I like that he walls in the tower. I think that's such an underrated thing, actually. I hope he walls it in properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you go without walling in the corners, then villagers can still punch it down.
Yeah, we'll see what he goes for here. I'm just speeding up a little bit so I get fully caught up. Yeah, he's going for the corner wall. I'm not a fan of this. Basically, by doing this, he's leaving a space for Vill to attack it here and a space behind these 2 walls for Vill to attack it there. Big scrim fight on the top, though. Looks like Liereyy with the superior numbers and micro. And yeah, oh, I thought that was a stable, but it's actually going to be a blacksmith.
Yep, core fletching going to be so critical in these early skirmisher battles, and if you have it, then you can just poke away at your opponent. Of course, skirmisher is going to be very strong against the spearmen as well, so it's going to be definitely the most important unit for the time being. What is that building from Yo? That's a blacksmith.
Yeah,
that is a blacksmith rush.
Yeah, so it's going to be, you know, double blacksmith, you know, one a piece.
Double blacksmith.
I know, it made it sound intense, actually, but by the way, Liereyy killing 2 vills and with the Chinese start is 5 vills ahead. 5 vills ahead at this stage of the game is absolutely huge. If Mysterio is not able to make something happen in the near future, I feel like he's just instantly losing this game.
Oh yeah, like it's going to be so hard for him to really make something happen. Maybe if he has like a faster castle age, get some siege workshops up on that hill and all that. But yeah, with the fletching now coming in, it is just not a fight that Yo is going to feel especially good about taking.
I mean, Liereyy is microing decently well. Yo actually getting some decent trades as well. Looks like 1-for-1 for the most part. Keep in mind though that Byzantine skirmishers are cheaper, so in a 1-for-1 trade, it's going to be cost efficient for Mr. Yo. However, I'm still waiting for the stable for Liereyy. Scanned quickly, didn't see it there.
All right, we can actually transition back to my POV now.
Yeah, take it back. Awesome stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed my point of view. Now it's back to OrnLu.
Indeed, Villager trying to assert some dominance over some skirmishers, but she'll actually die eventually if she's not careful. And Lierey's been slowly but steadily taking all of these Zebra in the middle, so that's going to be giving him plenty of extra food. Oh, these skirmishers laming the Zebra. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, just like Chew as well. Like, that's kind of, I guess, like, I don't know, selection, I don't know what you can call that. But Liereyy is moving forward with 8 skirmishers. Not the most menacing army, but with the scout there as well, I don't know, you could maybe get a villager, at the very least cost some idle time, cost some panic for Yo's economy.
I mean, it's not a very scary army, but if your opponent is open and has literally nothing with which to defend himself, then yeah, it's scary.
Quick clap there from the Vil onto the scout, he goes down. That Vil might die, actually, getting quite low. Ooh, no, not quite committing there for Liereyy. Still waiting on the stable, there it is, getting dropped down in Lierey's base. I swear, scouts and skirmishers is the best counter here, and he's doing exactly that. Fantastic play on the defense here.
Now working with a 7 villager advantage. I guess, yeah, Yo is now getting wheelbarrow, but still, even if we was just to call that a 5 villager advantage, that is almost an insurmountable lead at this point.
Yeah, that's
and if he gets
huge.
another villager snipe here, which he will, I think he should, just click the...
He's going for the skirmishes. This is actually a good play, though. Like, oh no! She's 3 HP, bro. Get her. Okay, yeah, I would still go for her.
Disaster!
Run after her, man. Let's see, the chase is on, I think. Liereyy should know about that.
I think he does,
He's
but...
too caught up in the skirms. I mean, it was fine at first, but when the Vil's on 3 HP, you drop anything you're doing. Like, you don't even make Vils yourself. You kill the Vil first, and then you go back to your economy.
Yeah.
In any case, though, I don't think he's really, you know, needing that Vil pick at this point. He's already, what is that, like something like 5 Vils up, calculating wheelbarrow into that equation. And there's 2 scouts now for Yo, from Liereyy moving out.
Yeah, of course, making those scouts means he is not going to be having as amazing a castle age time, as that is a lot of food investment. But oh, more villagers coming forward. They will instantly be running into these scouts and skirmishers.
Oh my god, perfect timing from Liereyy. His defense here has been fantastic just throughout. And now the skirms will snipe the spears, and the scouts will snipe everything else. That's pretty much how the composition goes. Basically, what Yo's trying to do is just trying to keep the spears safe and using the skirms to whittle down the skirms of Liereyy. Obviously, as you can see, a lot easier for Liereyy to win these fights.
Yeah, the thing is, you're never going to have that many spearmen, and it's just so easy for the skirms to snipe them as they do have the range. And now that all of these spearmen are dead, these skirmishers will be following suit pretty quickly. And this has just been one unmitigated disaster after another for Yo this game.
Yeah, thing is, he did choose to go forward. You know, this was a risky strategy from the get-go. Didn't end up paying off so far. It's not over, though. Let's not call it too soon. He's down a fair bit. I think the way back for Yo is probably just to... I hope he can start taking some good trades, maybe even try to stall until Castle Age. His win condition is not in the near future, though. It's in the late game. He needs to hold on until the late game at this stage.
I actually think he's likely going to have a much faster Castle Age than Liereyy. I mean, he's got more resources. I guess Liereyy has like almost 3 times the farmers, so I guess that's going to make up for it pretty darn quick.
In my opinion, Liereyy will get like a 10% faster castle.
Yeah, actually, looking at the numbers now, that is not going to be so great for Yo.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be looking really rough. I mean, if any civ can just hold on and maybe get something with a quick Imperial Age, then it would be Byzantines. It's going to be so hard because Lierey's going to be very powerful in Castle Age.
Yeah, it must be mentioned as well that there's 5 Vils from Yo still towering around that backside. He will deny some farms, but I don't know if it's worth the investment of 5 Vils per se. Liereyy has been doing a couple of defensive towers, doesn't quite have the resources to do a defensive tower on those ones. We'll lose like 3 farms.
He isn't on stone, right?
Nope. That was just his initial stone.
Yep, so yeah, Lierey's actually going to have to send some villagers forward. There is fletching in, of course, for Yo, so this might be able to get something done. This is the sort of thing you need to do if you want to get back in this game.
Yeah, this is forcing some idle time from Liereyy, sorry, but I feel like this is still a good decision from Liereyy overall. I mean, this is a Vil. Actually, I don't know if it's a good decision.
I mean,
he's using a lot for it.
It's a necessary decision, I think, but it's not a good one, if that makes sense. And this is going to be another easy Vil snipe for Yo. Is actually not focusing it down quite like he should, and this is a very messy fight. And even if Liereyy wins, this is probably about the best thing Yo could hope for.
Yeah, so like you're just making the game as messy as possible. Let's even get a good castle age behind this. Obviously, Lierey's still investing to scout, so his castle time is being delayed. He is floating 500 wood. Might have to, look to sort that out relatively soon. On the other side, Yo, no transition onto any stable units, so we'll continue taking harassment from skirmishers.
Definitely going to be the case, but this is, yeah, like you're saying, a lot of idle time, and that's going to be another villager down. I mean, he's still, Lierey's still 10 villagers ahead, so it's still not, like the end of the world for him at all. But I don't think Yo has lost any at home. Yeah, he saved every single villager. And Liereyy is going to lose this scout if he's not careful, and yeah, he will.
Lierey's going for the second range now. He's really committing to the Feudal Age. He's not afraid to really just double down on the army in Feudal Age. Not even thinking of Castle Age for the time being. He doesn't even have gold that he's taking at the moment, although he does have that back one near his woodline.
Bloodlines coming in for Liereyy as well. We're going to have Forging and Bloodlines. Those are going to be some really scary scouts if there are no spearmen around. And if the skirmishers can snipe the spearmen, then it's going to be looking all good for Liereyy.
Wait, so based on that, if he's going to get scout upgraded, why get a second range when you get a second stable? Kind of a suspect decision from Liereyy, in my opinion. I feel like second stable would have been more effective. Go for like that full Feudal Age scouts pressure. The range does make some sense, though. I do like that he's at least committing to Feudal Age.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful snipe by Liereyy onto the one spearman of his opponent. That is going to be a lot of dead units here for Yo. Oh, can he get the tower up? Maybe that'll be enough, but it's just going to die so quickly. One more spearman coming in, though.
Tower goes up. Not going to change a whole lot for the time being. I mean, will help keep his Ville safe. Maybe help him get a couple extra trades. We'll see, actually. There he is throwing away his skirms, or at least trading them away as this. Nah, there's no spearman inside anyway. This is going to be a full cleanup for Yo.
Yeah.
For Liereyy.
And even if the villagers lost was fairly even all around, yeah, that's
the GG.
It was just everything went wrong for Yo in early Feudal Age.
Yeah, I mean, Liereyy scouting the forward is already just a terrible sign. Like, right off the bat, it makes me just want to go home as a forward player. Like, if I'm the guy going forward. Yo committed forward, not a bad decision at all. Like, it's still fine. Liereyy just happened to take 2 vills with his man-at-arms, or militia. Really just solid play from Liereyy on defensive. I feel like he's really comfortable defending these feudal tower rushes. But like, that being said, Yo did make it work in the past game with the Incas. What do you think about this game?
I think it was Yo trying to go for the quick win and just, like, bop Liereyy out of the tournament right there. But Liereyy, beautiful defense, and we're going to a game number 6.
Yeah, 6. So now we're going to be 2-3, already on the comeback trail. So maybe the Nili energies for Liereyy might have had some effect here, low-key. And look, he still has the chill face on, looking to get into the game 6. And this one could potentially equalize the series.
The problem here for Liereyy is every map is now Yo's home map.
True.
Well, the next 2 games.
Yeah. So that's a slight advantage in favor of Yo. As far as the timeline goes, not a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, Liereyy at the start of Feudal Age did have those militia out. So as you see the dark red there, and that pretty much made the difference in the end. That was, in my opinion, the critical moment. Taking the 2 vills in the forward significantly reduces how strong it is, and I feel like Liereyy just made a good decision from there, ending up into the scout skirm transition or army composition in Feudal Age. Beautiful play from him. Nice try from Yo. I don't think he played that bad or anything. Really just good play from Liereyy.
I mean, honestly, I think Yo really did the best he could with the situation he had, but it's just some things are not quite enough. And we'll be going into game number 6. What map is that going to be? It's going to be either Golden Pit or Cross.
I think they're going to go with Cross, as I'm seeing a Persian mirror here. Let's go ahead and see if we can find the games at the moment.
And
fantastic.
Yep, Persian mirror indeed.
Interesting that we're not seeing Japanese being played, actually. What do you think is a better civ? I'm actually not sure myself.
I think Japanese versus Persian is actually like a really interesting comparison because they both have strong ecos, especially on these sorts of hybrid maps, but they're kind of good in different ways.
Yeah.
Persians have the better power unit, but Japanese can adapt to what their opponent is doing better and probably get some better uptime since their army is much cheaper.
And I feel like despite the Persian trash bow, obviously the X-bow that costs no gold in the Imperial Age, I feel like even with that, I still favor Japanese late game. They have Bracer with skirmishers, halbs, and they're doing just a good job in general. Let's take a look at the map as well, though. Cross is not something we see every day here.
Yeah, so Yo will be our blue player, still on match point to the southwest of the map, and to the northeastish in the red, also as the Persians, will be Liereyy. Speaking of Persians, we can even...
bring up the civs.
Bring up the civs. Bring up the civs, overlay guy. Anyway.
There we go.
There we
Awesome
go.
stuff.
So as it's a mirror, both same on each side. They start with plus 50 food and wood, and their town centers and docks work plus 5% per age. How big of a difference do you think the plus 5% in Dark Age makes?
Oh, so actually on the surface, it might seem like an insignificant number. However, it's probably one of the best eco bonuses we've seen added with the release of DE. Basically, what this means is that Persians get off to an extra villager at the end of Dark Age, which, as you see, as we saw in the earlier games when Liereyy lost the Ville, how important that was. It's pretty much the same thing here with Persians, except on the positive side of things rather than the negative. And obviously that work rate still increases as the game goes on. Knights plus 2 attack versus archers could come in here in the game. In the Persian mirror, we like to see Knight War, with monks being added.
Go away. There we go.
Fantastic.
Only had to press it like 20 times.
Yeah, hopefully the guy's doing a good job.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, what makes Cross a unique map is the ponds with tons and tons of fish in them in each of the corners of the map, hence why the map is kind of shaped like a cross. And I think more than even most maps, this map is very much centered on map control because there's only so many angles in which you can attack your opponent.
I actually had no idea that's why we call it cross. Good to know, good to know.
It's a big X.
Yeah, I saw it now. I was looking at the mirror map like, oh. But yeah, anyway, so I think the big play here is, or the early game idea, is for each player to dock their own lake, the safest lake for them. Oftentimes you see 2 docks being dropped down on those ones as well. But in the mid game, they want to fight for the external lakes because having an extra lake means you're able to produce fishing ships or more fishing ships. And think of fishing ships in the early game like extra villagers.
Yeah, it's like the dock is almost a second TC early on.
Yeah.
You can see that Yo was on the hunt for a lone villager who was trying to build a dock, so that was a nice little cheeky play for him. But and actually, well, I think I guess the even scout trade, but it's going to actually delay the dock a little bit.
They're approaching a hill here. Actually, keep an eye on those scouts because we might see a big fight here. Hill bonus. Ooh, Yo coming out on top. That's huge. That is huge.
So what do you do with this now that you know that your opponent doesn't have a scout? Do you just try and go for another dock?
Okay, so the idea behind this map is I already mentioned it. You want to fight for the other lakes on the sides. Without having the initial scout, you actually can't see if your opponent is going for those. You don't see when he's going for those. So I think now that Yo killed his opponent's scout, he should look to get those extra lakes. I hope he doesn't go forward. I hope he doesn't get tempted to go forward. I don't think forward on this map is actually that solid.
No, because like you can't deny the fish. At least almost never you can deny the fish. Liereyy looks like he's just trying to probably wall to the edge of the map here. What do you so in Feudal Age, we sometimes see aggression with scouts and archers and whatnot. Do you think it's just going to be some scouts for positioning stuff and then getting to Castle Age?
Good question.
And then maybe fighting on water if you both get docks established.
I haven't played this map that much, so my experience on it is not like that good. But in my experience, I feel like scouts to control the map, get the extra docks up in either lake could be a good thing. Also, generally the map is easy to wall, so a few scouts wall up. It's usually a solid opening. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few archers, at least in the early game.
Yeah, definitely. 3 fishing ships versus 2, so Yo is just a little bit ahead in most respects right now. Getting Loom right now, looks like both players can have some very similar uptimes. Never mind, Yo is actually making another villager. Liereyy himself checking his resources, also making another villager. So we both got Loom at the same time, despite not clicking up afterwards and not being in danger.
Yeah, this is really weird, actually.
Yeah.
I guess they both felt like having Loom. Oh, wait, what? Is this a forward Ville from Yo?
Sorry?
This is... Wait, is he going to go straight for the dock? That is super ambitious.
Lierey's already walled to the edge of the map. I mean, granted, the forage bushes and gold is forward, but the forage bushes don't really matter when you have fishing ships. And
Wait, he definitely wants to dock. I'm 100% sure of that.
But that's like
that's so forcing it though.
Like given the lumber camp positioning of your opponent and that they have the houses here because this is how that's where the scout ran.
Instant reaction from
yeah,
that's never gonna work in my opinion. Like it's just too easy to scout. You know what I would do actually if I was Liereyy? I would let him get the dock, or let him start building the dock so he commits to it, and then try and kill the villager once the dock is like halfway built.
Oh come on,
quick
Yo.
boss from Yo actually, but
no,
he would just lose that villager eventually here.
Yeah, it's even losing the scout, right?
Scout gets tagged as well. Oh,
Yeah.
this is good defense from Liereyy.
I mean, yeah, very good defense with a very quick reaction time. 5 fishing ships versus 4, actually, so Yo is still working with that small lead. Yo is really trying to make this thing happen, man. It's not. It's not.
If he gets it, he's a smurf, though. Oh, I told you, he got it. Like,
You said if he got it.
oh, if he got it.
No,
Yeah, okay, fair
no.
enough, fair enough. Well, in the end, he gets it. But honestly, not a big deal.
Wait,
what?
what?
What's happening?
What is he doing?
Don't tell me he's gotta get a tower down.
Oh.
That's such a Yo thing to do. Wait, no, but he's debating. Because now Lierey's gonna invest into a galley.
Oh, yeah. But the galley's going to kill the villager, so it's going to be fine.
I don't know. It's better than making a dock. It's better
Oh, he
than making a
canceled it. He
dock.
canceled it.
Oh,
Great reaction there.
Yo, this is top level stuff,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
Both
This is
players
good.
don't want to overcommit to anything.
Yeah.
Like, Liereyy wants to defend this with the least amount of resources spent. Let's take a quick look on the land here. We're seeing a stable opening from Liereyy. Same with Mr. Yo. Like I said, few scouts walling up is the standard opening on this map, I feel like, for the matchup.
Yeah, some scouts just to keep your opponent honest, make sure that they are forced to wall up, make sure you can at least maybe try and take some of these extra docks as they're going to be so important for food control, as Persians are a very food-intensive civ as well. And looks like with the scout coming in, this villager is going on a one-way trip to the dirt.
Oh my god. What do you say about that? Like, like we can't kill villagers anymore. Like, this doesn't work. They're just gonna keep quick walling them. I mean, it doesn't actually change anything. This village will eventually die. It might actually force a galley though. We'll see out of Liereyy.
Does it though?
Great quick walls from Yo.
Does it really force a galley?
I would make a galley. Like, I would be tilted out of my mind. It's either I make a galley or I resign. Like, I have to kill that villager. Nonetheless, great walls from Yo. 2 scouts coming forward from Yo as well.
Scouts seemingly missing each other, but looks like there is the reinforcing scout as well as a spearman here for Liereyy, so he's pretty well set up. He's actually 2 villagers ahead right now, interestingly. And Yo is actually going to be docking the pond in the south.
Yeah.
So he has the map control. Ooh, this villager, she's looking to dock the one in the north, and she is getting punished for it.
Great awareness from Yo. He just commits. Yeah, take one spear hit.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
And does lose the scout, a little bit of unfortunate pathing right there, but not half bad. The villager's still alive.
Like, he's idling with that villager. He's
Yeah.
idling one of Lierey's vills.
And-
he's idling a scout.
Okay, the
So
scout's
much
now moving
damage.
out, but yeah, look, it's 3 scouts to 2. I wonder where the 3rd scout is. It's way on the other side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think like just getting one galley out would have caused them a lot less stress going into this game. Well, in any
Oh,
case,
beautiful
though,
micro too from Yo. Hasn't taken a single poke from the spearman and was able to snipe one of the scouts of Liereyy.
this is top level stuff. By the way, I just want to point out that the Vill kill we saw earlier, not only was that a Vill kill, but also delayed Lierey's dock at the top. And remember what we said, you know, the docks are like TCs. That's basically like getting an extra Vill lead because of denying the TC for a little bit.
Yep, Yo is already getting that dock in the south working. Still has the scout lead, just has to run away until the spearmen are sufficiently far away from the scouts, and then you turn around and then you attack the scouts. And that is exactly what our blue player is doing, even
If
trying to
Yo
get the
is
hill
insane,
advantage.
he goes back to the dock area to see if there's a Vill there from Liereyy. I guess he didn't think of it, or maybe he thought like Liereyy would just quick wall it anyways. He ends up going the other way.
Or Liereyy would have the dock up already.
Yeah, but I hope he at least thought of that, because that would have been a great play. Nonetheless, Yo should be really happy with this early game. He's taking no damage himself, well, besides the Vill he sent forward. Which actually, I think he's going to go for a dock now. Quick tab back on that Vill. Never mind. Wait, what? He deleted the wall and just sits still. I guess he welcomed death.
Yeah.
Happens.
Oh, what the?
Oh my god, this is tilting me, man. Like, it was like the 4th quick wall.
Oh.
Well played to Yo. Like, Liereyy just can't get this kill.
Freaking Yo on land, man. He's used to all the lag being over from China, but
Now he's flexing. He's showing he's got style as
yeah,
well.
he's showing he's got
I love it.
the quickness. I mean, all things considered, these guys have more or less even villagers in military, but. There's only 1 fishing ship in the north pond, whereas there are 4 in the south, so you can see Yo able to have a bit of a lead in that respect.
Yeah, just want to point out as well that this Vill count is not only villagers, it's actually workers, so Vills plus fishing ships, if that wasn't already clear.
Which it's not, considering it says villager.
Yeah, exactly. So just to clear
Yeah.
that up for anyone joining the stream. Resources looking pretty good for both players here.
Yep, Liereyy just about to click up to Castle Age, as is Yo. And going into mid-game, would you say that it's more or less pretty much totally even?
I don't know about even, because I see 4 extra Vills or workers for Yo.
And a faster Castle Age time.
Yeah, he's also fully walled. I really favor Yo's position here. Not by a lot. I don't want to say like he's winning clearly, but he has a significant advantage, at least in the mirror match.
Yeah, and we saw in the Mongol mirror earlier how much an early lead can snowball out of control. That's actually a much... Why isn't Liereyy clicking up? I didn't even bother going over to Lierey's resources because I knew he would click up in just a second, but he's...
Oh, he's missing... He's missing the blacksmith, but he kills the DauT finally.
Oh, no, do you know what happened here, Hera?
What?
Liereyy had the resources to click up. He spent gold on the fire galley because Yo actually was starting to build the dock. And then that delayed his castle age time because then he didn't have the gold to click up.
But now he doesn't have the building. Make the blacksmith. Larry.
Oh, that's...
Larry.
Is that gonna just lose him the series? Oh, and the scout's gonna get another villager snipe, the one who was building the dock in the north.
Make a blacksmith, man. He's going for a second barracks, so he's gonna go for a pikeman push. Fine, like this is so bad. He's getting like
disaster.
I feel like Larry's playing well, but he's getting such disadvantages from like boar kills on vills, missing like buildings. I feel really sorry for him at the moment, but hopefully with this pike push, can actually find a way back in Castle Age here.
Well, Yo isn't committing to the second stable. He does actually have a market as well, so I'm not entirely sure what his mid-game plan is going to be.
Oh my god. Look at the resources from Yo. Like, he clicked Castle Age,
yeah,
and he's got another one in his back pocket.
Yeah.
That's why I love this map. There's so much, like, just food that you're getting in.
And maybe that's why people aren't picking Japanese. It's just because Persians have more to do with food than Japanese do.
Yeah.
You know, with the cavalry and whatnot.
Yeah.
Monastery coming in for Yo. Very just defensive play from him. He knows he has the advantage. Just sit back, relax, further that lead. If anything, maybe try and push to the north dock, but there's already a galley here. So I think you just take what you have and chillax. Oh, that's not going to be another Vill, is it?
Oh my god, yeah. I think it might actually be. Nice try with the quick walls, ends up taking the Vill loss. Honestly though, like, okay, all these Vills added up, but the strategy Lierey's going for is kind of a do or die. Like, I feel like with the pike push, either he goes forward, makes it happen, or he's just going to slowly fall behind. He's already taking so much damage that in a pure boom war, he will lose. I love that he's trying something different here, and let's see how it works out for him.
He's definitely making the best of a bad situation, but the one knight running across the map, forcing all these spearmen back. Now the one villager's going forward, has to be very careful of these knights, and Yo knows exactly what's coming. You don't see 11 spearmen in feudal age and not think your opponent's going forward.
Yeah, that is pretty sus to say the least. A couple of builds from Liereyy being prepared as well. He needs to find the good timing. Are we going to see the quick balls there? Nice gate on the top there. Oh, I'm actually behind. Never mind. All right.
Oh, man.
Monastery Siege coming down, though.
Oh, but are the knights going to be able to go for the villager snipes who are building the buildings? And oh, they even have the +1 attack, so at least one villager was sniped. But losing to it.
Yeah, I'd take those if I was Liereyy, because at this point, remember, he is pushing based on military. One Vill here and there will not matter. He's actually, at this point in the game, used to losing that one Vill here and there.
Feels bad, man.
But at least this time he got 2 knights for it.
Ooh, Yo, not paying attention, taking a lot of damage on those knights.
This is looking decent for Liereyy. What's the response here for Yo?
3TC boom with Siege Workshop's second barracks, interestingly.
Longswords?
Persian longswords?
I'm actually down. If Yo's down, I'm down.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
remember, supplies is attack, actually. This is not that troll anymore. And remember, Persians don't get anything further than longswords. So if we see them, it's going to be purely a Castle Age investment just to defend this pike siege push. Squires coming in and scalement armor. This could just be pikes. This could be longswords. We'll see very soon.
I honestly think the longswords play is probably the best one. I mean, because you're never going to catch up in the pikeman count, right?
Yeah.
So then you're just relying on better mangonel hits and stuff.
Oh, yes. Meta arms being teched into.
Persian longswords.
You literally never see this unit. Liereyy denies a TC on the front, though. That's actually pretty good.
That's
this game
really good.
It's getting interesting all of a sudden here.
Scorpion coming in, that's going to be quite good as well. I think then Guard Tower would be an excellent follow-up as well for Yo.
Persian longswords, though. If there's any meme unit, it's this one. But like I said, this is actually a good time to show it off here, or to actually go for it. Let's see the mangonel micro, because at this point it's all about momentum. Can Liereyy start a snowball? We'll lose a monk there on the front.
Ooh, beautiful timing there from the scout coming out. Nice mangonel hit though. It didn't even take any damage.
That's actually really, really strong. But great micro from Yo with the monk and the scout. Ends up mattering way less than the mangonel, though. I favor Lierey's position, at least on the push.
At least on the push, but look at this. He is already a good 20 villagers behind.
Yeah, so he needs to make something happen, basically.
Yeah, Longswordsman is on the way. More men-at-arms being queued up, but this Town Center being denied is absolutely massive. Oh, there's another monk. If it's paying attention, it can get a conversion, and of course it is. Actually, they're just dying to the pikeman.
Liereyy should do a very fast transition into knights.
Yes.
Going Knights now will clean up Longswords very fast, give you a fast-moving unit. Let's see the Magneto Micro shoot Liereyy. Yes, 1 for 1. No, doesn't quite get it.
Not quite. Monk survives.
How is that possible? What? That makes no sense. That guy took it to the face. He should have died.
Yeah.
In any case, dice to the Knight ends up losing.
Ooh, Pikeman running into the town center right there. Very good upgrades, by the way, for Liereyy. +2/+2.
He's really committed to this. Like,
Yeah,
this is all in. He's actually, I say all in, but he's adding a second TC at home. Does want to have at least some economy behind this. Is 17 villas behind though.
Persian longswords!
Longswords are out!
Oh man, what are you gonna do when the Persian longswords come for you? Yo's trying to finish this town center. Of course, as a Persian TC, it does have double the HP, which is really nice, but the Mangonel gets at least 1 villager. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going to be coming up, but that is going to be stopping Liereyy right in his tracks right there.
Keep in mind, that's also the 4th TC from Yo, so his boom is absolutely massive at this point. Only 2, not even up. Second one on the way for Liereyy, so I don't know, man. This push seems like it stopped dead in its tracks. And Yo seems like to be in a comfortable position.
And the thing with Yo is he can just go onto stone with like a lot of villagers right now, just get a castle up, and then just know he's going to be miles ahead in this game. And didn't even get a dock.
Dock in the corner. What do you think? Good timing.
Yeah, great timing. Where'd the galley go? Oh, the galley's just out of position.
Yeah.
Lear's not paying attention.
Well, let's keep an eye on the pikeman. I mean, you never know when he decides to turn on the camp. But yeah, that dock is actually really good. If Liereyy doesn't pay attention, that's 5 dead fish. Not a huge deal, but definitely not something he could afford at this point.
Yeah, not when you're already down a good 20 villagers. Nice control there from Yo, making sure he is minimizing his losses. And another Mangonel coming in. This is very much an all-in push here for Liereyy.
I feel like Liereyy should start mining stone and go for 1 TC into forward castle pressure, something like really all in like that. Because I do not see him catching up. He's 21 vills behind, TC is behind. Let's see the Mangonel Micro from Yo. It's gonna come down to some big shots here. If Liereyy doesn't pay attention, this is game.
Oh, that's so already at least a 1 for 1, and that's not something that Liereyy can afford. 2 for 0 right now. Oh, it's not gonna be a 3. It's a 3 for 1.
I can't. That's over. That's over. Yep. I don't see a comeback there for. Yeah, that's a 3 for 1. And Liereyy, that's it for his push. He's out of gas now. Like, he's out of gas. He's got nothing left.
Like, what are you gonna do? Run into a TC with Pikeman and Knights?
Yeah, like, and he's got to wait for more Mangonels. He just doesn't have a whole lot going for him. He's not gonna call it, mind you, because this is obviously the last game of the series, last game of the tournament potential for him.
Oh, demo ship even gets
we caught that a little bit here. But yeah.
25 villager lead here for Mr. Yo. He has just been playing incredibly well this series. Like, I think that the way he's playing this series.
Yeah, we've seen some light cap as well. Yeah, I agree though with Yo and his gameplay so far.
Yeah, I think he is going to give Viper a good series if indeed he does win this game, which seems very likely. Castle coming in the front here in a beautiful position for Yo.
Yeah, very nice. Keep in mind, viewers, the winner of this does face Viper. So this is obviously a very important set for these two players, making it to the semifinals with a very tough matchup, arguably the toughest. And now we're seeing a castle on the hill for Yo, 4 TCs. Remember, Persian TCs do have the double HP as we mentioned, so I don't see Lierey's push doing much at this point.
And oh no, Liereyy. Another 1 for O, Mangonel hit.
I don't know. I feel like Liereyy was forced to do something he's not fully comfortable with. I don't think Liereyy is the Pike Siege pusher.
No.
I mean, it's not like he can't do it. It just feels like it's not his specialty. It's not his strength. I do like that he gave it a go because it felt like that was his only way back in the game. Unfortunately, though, it didn't quite work out.
The thing with Persian mirrors, though, is that they're so defensive, right? Persians have a really hard time killing themselves.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as it sounds, but you know, you have camels if they go for lots of knights. You can go with your own defensive Mangonels and monks. You have
longswords if they go Pike Siege, apparently.
Yeah, man.
Not too bad. But yeah, of course, the double HP TCs. Great quick walls on the left here for Yo as well, preventing the light cavalry happened a little bit earlier from getting to the base. Liereyy is trying his best, but Yo is playing sharp at every stage of the game. Imperial Age coming in as well. Yeah,
we might be seeing an Imperial Age GG coming here because you just can't break a Persian TC plus castle defense with just castle age. There actually is a lot of gold to make. He has 31 villagers on gold. What's he trying to accomplish with this?
31 on gold, maybe buying his way up. I mean, he is floating a lot. The question is, even if he buys his way up, I don't really see it doing much.
Yeah.
He is picking up relics, though. There he is picking up relics. He has 3 TCs. But is he down like 20 villagers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's a chance for a comeback way later.
Liereyy!
The Mangonel trades for Yo have only been positive.
Yeah, like Yo's not taking a single bad Mangonel trade.
Yeah, I think the average for him is like a 1 for 2 at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe even a 1.2.2 or something like that. Something crazy.
Oh, and the trash bows are coming in. I didn't see if Kamandarin was researched, but the archery ranges are coming in. Ballistics, fletching, and +1 defense. This is gonna obviously wreck the pikeman. Liereyy is clicking up to imp though.
Yeah, so good point, or good decision from Yo, I think, to just open up the crossbows. Obviously, it's a great Persian late game unit. It's something you want to tech into as fast as possible, conserve that gold. Persians is not that one-trick cav civ that they used to be. And so I think crossbows opening with maybe Hussars to back it up, or maybe some camels to back it up, could be the way to go here. Could counter pretty much everything that Liereyy has to offer. As far as Liereyy and his resources, I think he's going to have to improvise here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you can accomplish at that point. Yo can, as long as it's like a relatively good army comp, I think Yo can go for it. And yeah, just like crossbows with, I think I like a gold cavalry unit, whether it be the cavalier or the camel.
Yeah.
Just because you want something to spend your gold on.
Yeah, I always talk about this. Like the standard army comp is like 1 gold unit, 1 trash unit, and then 1 siege unit. Obviously, trash unit in this case is a unit that doesn't cost any gold. Which, well, the crossbow, when the unique tech is researched, it's the perfect description of that. Indeed, unique tech is on the way as well.
Yep. Yo does have Kamandarin, which means that these crossbowmen, as opposed to costing 25 wood, 45 gold, now only cost 50 wood. They are the only the only unit in the game to cost only wood.
Lierey's going cav
Except,
archers?
like, military unit, I guess.
Lierey's going Persian cav archers. I said improvise. I didn't say throw. No, but at this point, I guess he may have thought it's the only unit to go for. The reason why Persian cav archers aren't the best is because they're obviously lacking bracer. But I don't know, man. This is desperation at its finest.
I mean, we see Persian cav archers from time to time, but without bracer, like, I guess you do have all the armor upgrades and Parthian tactics, so the crossbowmen without bracer are not going to be doing very well versus them at all. But at that point, you just mow them down with like cavalier.
Yeah, but I mean, cav archers with halberdier, there's some potential there, I guess. Again, the Mangonel traits from Yo, fantastic play from him.
Yeah, now we have chemistry in as well. Forward Siege Workshop. Yo is just putting all the pressure, even going to be sniping this monastery.
Yeah, but the reason why crossbows will be just the cost efficient unit is because they cost, what is that, 50 wood compared to the cav archer, would cost 40 wood and 70 gold or
60 gold.
60 gold. They changed it. Shout out to OrnLu there for remembering that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so just like pretty much double the resources for cav archers. Obviously, way more gold. I don't think Liereyy can hold on until he gets that mass that he wants.
No, Yo has a huge bank of food and gold that he can spend on pretty much whatever he wants. And yeah, like, Lierey's trying to get some upgrades going, but he still has a long way to go. Cav archers need a lot of upgrades to be very good, and it's like they have that really, somewhat low ceiling for what you're looking for in a unit at this point without bracer.
Yeah, exactly. Bracer is usually that good spike you get at the start of Imperial Age. Obviously not available for Persians.
Yo absconding with Lierey's relic.
Oh, did he take it away?
Yeah, he took it.
Oh my god, the heist, actually, the relic heist. I like that, though. Yo's actually focusing a lot more on the late game than he did in previous sets, I felt like. I haven't really seen too much of him collecting relics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
I see it all the time in his overall gameplay.
Yeah, but
this tournament?
In this tournament, I feel like he's really thought of it a lot more, at least in this series. Maybe he's putting his try-hard face on.
Well, look at Yo's face there in the webcam. Yeah. Face of a killer right there.
That's a try-hard face if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
That TC is going to go down. Obviously very tanky, but the tread will slowly whittle away with that, as well as the bomber cannon. Transition now for Yo. Cavalier coming in. I actually would have liked to see heavy camel. Just because I feel like heavy camel comes in not a lot faster than Cavalier, but they easily deal with the cav archers. Like, they're faster and they do more damage to them as well.
Yeah, I guess it's just the Cavalier is a better all-around unit. The camel, it's not as vulnerable to arrow fire from various buildings or whatever. So I think it doesn't make too much of a difference, honestly. The cav archers trying to take the best fight they can. They do have all of their armor upgrades, which means that the crossbowmen are only dealing 2 damage, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, and Mr. Yo is trying to get the control of the gold. Keep in mind, Mr. Yo does have 3 docks control. He's had that for a while on the top, so that just another boosts his economy and why he's able to snowball this that much more. Liereyy does have control of the extra gold. Is actually slowly taking away Mr. Yo's crossbow numbers, maybe taking away some siege as well.
Yo's going Paladin. He is finishing this series with a bang.
He's doing it in style. I low-key wish he would have went for elephants.
That's a little too alpha.
Yeah, that might have been too much. Paladin is a safe way to end the series. obviously, Liereyy cannot prepare anything versus Paladin at this stage.
No. I mean, he has pikemen upgraded, but the numbers of halberdiers you're going to need against this are just way, way too many. I mean, these gold miners of Yo are in a little bit of jeopardy, and he doesn't have that much gold in the bank.
I don't know. I feel like he's just way too far ahead. The
Yeah.
market probably still isn't bottomed out. He's got a lot of stone as well that he can sell. Paladin should be the nail in the coffin. Although I feel like Hussar would have been better. I feel like Paladin's the style move.
Paladin's the style move, and it's going to instantly end the game.
Yeah.
The other plays, you know, maybe if your opponent just starts taking insane micro fights, you can climb back, but no, Paladin, you just die.
Yeah, as soon as you see 20, 30 Paladin, there's absolutely nothing you can do unless you see it coming. However, let's say if Lierey's playing on all visible now and prepares Halbs, like it's gonna take a lot, but he might actually be able to come back if, like I said, he has that information. At the moment, though, he's making a stable switch.
Paladin's in.
Not gonna cut it. Yeah.
+4 defense not quite in just yet, but it is on the way, and now Liereyy is going to see it. This might just be the nail in the coffin.
I would have waited for like 20, just to hide the tech.
Yeah.
But in any case, 4 ends up doing it. Liereyy sees the Paladin. GG, well played. I think Yo should be really happy with that series.
Yeah.
And I feel like Liereyy played pretty well. I don't think that like Liereyy played poorly in that many games. Obviously had some unlucky like boar loss or Vill's losses to boars. Overall though, fantastic series from Yo, and congrats to him making it to the semis.
Yep, Yo, his first NAC, and he's making it right to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And the way he's playing his games, I think that he and Viper will have an incredibly good series. Like,
Yeah.
both of them fairly late game oriented players, all about, like, I think map control as the game progresses and that kind of stuff. I think it should be really good. But yeah, Liereyy, like, the series was not, like, lost for Liereyy because he played poorly. It's just that Yo played just a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think that at this quality of play, or this like top level play, it's really gonna come down to the little things. And I think in this case, Magno Micro to the Vil picks and Feudal, the small stuff, Yo just did it better consistently. Well played, and congrats to him. And like you said, I hope the Viper and Yo series actually comes, lives up to its name. And I hope that Yo especially keeps the relics in mind versus Viper as well.
Yeah, because you're going to need it if the game goes long versus Viper.
Which it tends to do.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, it was just everything with Yo was just a little bit ahead in pretty much every single way. And just getting those little picks here and there, they really, really do add up.
Yeah, 100%. So, GG, well played. I think we have an interview to do with Mr. Yo. Do you want to do it, or should I do it?
I'll do it.
All right, fantastic. So, OrnLu will take care of that interview. I think Nili. Did we break 10K? I think they're spamming Nili 10K or something like that. We have 10K. Overlay guy confirmed. And guys, this is still the first series of the day. We obviously have one more quarterfinal between TheMax and TaToH, which is going to be also a fantastic set. Hera, please interview Yo. OrnLu will take care of the interview, guys, and you obviously see what Yo has to say about the set. We have one more quarterfinal coming up. Max versus TaToH. As I said, the winner of that will play me in the semifinals, and obviously Mr. Yo, now the winner of this quarterfinal, will face Viper in the next semifinals. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series as much as we did casting it. We saw a variety of maps there, and I think some really back and forth play in the end. I feel like Yo was just a lot more solid, and I do believe that Yo, this was his best series of the tournaments. All right. Thanks for the casting, no problem, man. Oh, he took away my chat. Oh. Oh, hi. Are they still listening to me? Oh, okay, awesome. All right. All right, so it looks like the interview is about to get started here. And we have OrnLu setting up with Mr. Yo. Probably pass it on to those. Thanks for casting, no problem. Shout out to OrnLu as well. I think we did a good job today. And the interview will be started. Sec. Overlay guy. He's telling me to chill. All right. Would you rather play TaToH or Max? That's an interesting question, actually. Oh, Nili. Oh, popping in and out. Kind of giving them a tease. Would I rather play TaToH or Max? I feel like I'd prefer Max because I don't know. I feel like TaToH is just an overall solid player. Although regardless, both will be tough and both can go either way. Who do I want to face? Yeah, I just answered that. Are you out, Hera? No, I'm in the semifinals. I'm the opposite of out, actually. All right, Nili in the sexy pajama pants. Interviews there. I'm out.
All right. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Yo, it's been so long since we've been here. It's been, what, 3 hours?
I don't know. What time is it?
Well, we did the we recorded the interview before.
Yeah.
And yeah, now we are here again, taking that win 4-2 over Liereyy in that quarterfinal. Like, how are you feeling about your performance in that series?
Yeah, I play okay.
I think you played a little bit better than okay.
Well, for my standard, I mean, I play my level. I'm not super.
Well, regardless, you looked incredibly strong in that series. Going into game number 1 on Arabia, what did you think? Like, especially in like the mid game, you had, trying to. I think you were Aztecs, right? Trying to take control of the map with your Eagle Warriors.
First game?
Or wait, no,
I was Mayan.
I was mine. Yeah, sorry. My bad. You were going for plumed archers. I
Yes.
clearly didn't cast these games.
Okay.
So trying to just defend with plumed archers. How is that working for you? Like, did you think that if you could just hold on long enough that?
No. That. At one point, I was using all of my plume shooting at his skirmisher because the unit is just overpowered. To be honest, you can't stop it.
It just got nerfed though. +5 wood and gold.
You
Hera
have to
thinks-
nerd it more.
Hera says they're trash.
No, they are not trash.
I'm inclined to agree with you. So yeah, now I remember. So you were. What I thought was really interesting is you went for a lot of wraparound attacks, like trying to raid him with the plumed archers, as opposed to taking the straight up fights. Like always trying to raid him. Was that like you just thought you could be more effective not taking the straight up fights?
Yeah, I think so.
And then seems like from then on it was just you're able to close around him and crush him. So game number 2 was that would be Lierey's first home map. Is that Serengeti?
No, Serengeti was
Oh
mine.
yeah. Come on, yo.
Cenotes?
Oh yeah, that was Cenotes. I think that was Huns versus Aztecs. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So that one was a lot of aggression from you early on with the quick forward towers after getting the early Vil kill onto
Yeah.
Liereyy. Was that like a split-second decision?
Well, I killed one of his wheels, right? So then I decided to go forward, but the forward was a fail, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't quite do enough. Do you think it was just your defense in early Castle Age that got you back that lead?
Yeah.
Because he had a faster Castle Age, he had the crossbowman, but you were still not taking that many villager losses.
I was sure he has way more eco than me.
No, actually you had the better eco
Really?
over time, yeah.
Okay.
Aztecs are good, man.
Okay.
Aztecs are good farmers.
Because I lost the forward wheels. He trapped me in there. That was clever.
Yeah, so then game number 3, that was Lierey's first home map. That was Lierey's second home map. Was that
Let me think.
Land Madness?
Yeah.
Land Madness. That was the one. That was one you lost. What do you think that the big problem was for you in terms of getting to Mangudai?
I don't think Mangudai was the problem. The problem was there was a hole in my wall.
Yeah.
That cost me a lot. Like his archer, he didn't kill Will from me, but it stops my eco and forced me to make some skirmisher.
And a defensive tower, right?
Yeah,
And on the
yeah,
gold.
yeah,
and I think
yeah.
like you just didn't have enough gold for Castle Age because you had to use
Yes.
the gold miners to build the tower. That was a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
So it seemed like at that point it was just kind of a little bit downhill from there. Next one was. Oh man.
His home map. My home map.
Yeah, it was your home map.
Serengeti.
That was Serengeti. Yeah, that was with the Yolo Inca towers.
Yes.
So is that something you just prepared for Serengeti in general? Because it was your home map, right?
No, I didn't prepare anything.
Really?
I just picked a map. Actually, I wanted to play Golden Pit, but then I think about it, he didn't use his meso sieves. Like he has Mayans and Aztec, so I think it would be a bad choice to go any sieves with Mayan in Golden Pit. So I save it. Then I picked Serengeti, and then I just thought, because I'm running out of meso sieve, only Inca left. So yeah, then I think trust might be a good idea because Mongol is used as well.
Yeah.
On Le Menace. Yeah.
So obviously, would you credit your success there to just the tower rush denying map control for him? Because that seemed like it was the big thing, is that Liereyy was just like having a really inefficient eco every way. And then you were able to actually get, I think, a little bit of a faster castle age despite going with like 18 pop up towers, something like that.
Yeah, 18 pop.
Yeah,
because you only have one elephant on the map, so and my deer was really far away. If I go up later, I couldn't. I won't be able to.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That's that was pretty crazy. It's like, wait a minute, Yo only has 2 villagers on wood. What's going on? So then, that was the second to last game was on Valley. Yeah. See, you obviously have the better memory than I do.
Of course.
So that one just seemed kind of unfortunate with the 4 villagers being scouted instantly. Did you not expect him to go with men at arms?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I was thinking about scouts, but I think the moment when I picked Byzantine, it seemed just too obvious. To him. So.
Because you don't normally expect Chinese to go for men at arms, right? Like the Byzantine pick was to counter Chinese, right? Because they're weak in early feudal age normally. Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, just getting scouted, it seems like it happens.
It was smart.
Yeah, it was definitely very, and I think just overall, Liereyy had a really good defense that game. But that, of course, brings us to Cross, last map. And so you were just going full YOLO, the villager just like making a beeline to Lierey's dock.
Yeah.
So why'd you go for that?
I just wanted to try my luck because when my villager was in the middle of the way and I saw him not war there, so I just wanted to try. Then I got spotted. So.
What about those quick walls, like saving the villager? Like, don't you think that helped you? Because it seemed that like it actually delayed him a fair bit.
Yeah. I just want to get his attention.
I think you did.
Yeah.
No, that was really like it surprised me how effective that was. But it seems like from there on, you were able to go for the dock in the south way faster than he could go for the one in the north. You got the villager sniped there when the villager was going to the north.
Right.
Did you think at that point, okay, you should just go for just safe play and then hold him off?
Yeah, because I knew I was ahead. Like I killed two or three of his will in Feudal Age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll just keep camping at base.
What about the Persian longswords? Best longswords in the game?
Actually, I only made like 7 or 8.
It was enough. It was funny because it was like, actually, that makes perfect sense. The longswords actually make plenty of sense. And then, you were able to defend. You had some amazing mangonel trades, though, right? I think that might have been the nail in the coffin there. And with that, you took the series. Now you're going to be going up against Viper. How are you feeling?
Sad.
Sad? Do you have a chance?
Of course I have a chance, but still, it's Viper. So.
Yeah. Should be a close set, right?
I hope so.
I think you can manage it. Well, thank you very much for the interview, and good luck in your semifinal.
Thank you.
Hey, Nili taking over.